Hello and welcome, DPL fans.
You
Today,
gotta stream in here too.
oh yeah, I do have to stream here. So today, we will be going over Week 3. Yay! I love Week 3. Week 3 is the best week. Probably. Alright, let me link this.
It's gonna be an interesting week, that's for
I
sure.
don't know, man. Week 6 or 7 is pretty nice.
Alright.
And you're muted.
And you're just kicked. Where's my streams? Content. Bang. I love this thumbnail. It's so funny. Alright. Anything we want to do as an intro as people get here? It's a bit later than usual streams. So I'm gonna see different people in the chat probably, but that's okay.
Oh,
What's up,
welcome, Lantern
Lantern?
Comic. Wish we could get you back on the stream one day.
It's huge props to the Scovillains. We could just stop the sentence there, right? Huge props to the Scovillains. That's a thanks,
Yeah, we
man.
don't even need to go over their series. Just give them
Yeah,
props.
honestly.
That's it.
Prince L4. Many are saying this. Ultimate support of Pride Month. Yeah, that's what we were doing for sure. All right, today I'm joined so far by Sin of Wrath and Wyatt.
So
Okay, as you can tell, Sin of Wrath is literally 11. What's up, ID
Yeah,
Cup?
so when you get annoyed at him going beast mode in your game chats, just remember he's 11. Like he'll grow out of it soon.
Did you see what Dashing Kevs just put in my server?
My condiments to the SCO team. Thank you, Dashing Kibs.
Ketchup, mustard, mayo, all of them. Why is Duraludon so tough? I don't know, man. It's like a pre-bridge. It is late, Chop. Duraludon killed my dad? Why would he do that? Go dogs. Yep. It's only 4 a.m. Stay up. Alright. Wait, on my OBS there are now new buttons that I have not seen before. That's crazy. Alright, let's get started here. So, let me pull this up on my other monitor real quick. Our first series is going to be their big dogs versus the Draft Dodgers. Two teams that have been doing pretty well so far going into this week. And game one is going to be Fierce Flamethrower versus Agency's Own. Now, this is an interesting one because Fierce Flamethrower is one of the students of Agency. Someone that they work together quite a lot. Alright, I see you, Chopped. But yeah,
Some
so
more background on this. Allegedly, Fierce Flamethrower's prep was like leaked in some capacity, so
Yeah, it's
he's
very
already
early in
starting
the
on the
week.
back foot. Yeah.
So what happened was he was streaming his mocks in a public server, and then someone from Agency's team saw it, and then took a screenshot and sent it to Agency. Now, this is a little bit illegal, I'm sure you're aware. But also, you can't expect people to just pretend they never saw it. So, the procedure is you have to let the admins know that you saw it, and you have to let the opposing person know, hey, I saw your prep. Like, you can't put that in a public channel. So, everyone was made aware, changes were made, but yeah. Not the best situation ever. Will a student beat the master? This is the storyline, yeah. Great guy like me would not see it, so true. Okay, so the Terra types here, Keldeo is going to be a ghost. Put put on a ghost flavored hat. And then the Necrozma is fairy type, whereas on the opposing side, this Hydrapple is going to be dragon for those extra strong Fickle Beams, maybe in Draco Meteors. And then Duraludon, I think, is also a Terra Pokemon, is also going to be dragon. Is there anything else that I'm missing here?
Don't believe so.
Nope, that's it. So let's get right into game 1. What's up, Verky? No one's winning quite yet. Alright, Meowscarada gonna lead off into the Meowscarada. Now this is like, okay, if one of them is Scarf, they could make the Gambit. Seeing as there's a Corv Pex on the other side, I would expect Agency's Meowscarada to not be Choice Scarf. So if Fierce is Choice Scarf, which also doesn't seem very likely into Tinkaton, so maybe these are both just not Choice Scarf Meowscaradas, but hard to say. So Agency does switch out. Agency switches first, but that's also meaning he's, if he were Scarf, maybe he just stays in U-turns. I'm not sure. Maybe they're just both not willing to risk so early in the game. But Fierce goes to Landorus, which covers the U-turn, which Meowscarada would do if it stays in, potentially. And it also covers the Tinkaton, so really intelligent play from Fierce Flamethrower. And he's going to get rewarded with a free Earth Power, or Rocks, sure. Goes for the Rocks, expecting maybe a Mandibuzz pivot on the Earth Power, but Keldeo instead, going to make the offensive switch in. But we do have a Pex, we have a Hydrapple. This shouldn't be a big issue. Yeah, we're going to go to Pex, scout out what kind of Keldeo this is, and we're going to see a crit.
That looks like Specs.
Specs Keldeo, yeah, that's definitely Specs Keldeo. And that crit actually means it is 2-hit KO'd here. So we're going to have to switch out into the Hydrapple as another Terra Blast comes out, but that is Assault Vest Hydrapple. So it should be no problem throughout the entire game. Goes for an Earth Power, expecting a switch to Tinkaton, looks like. Tinkaton, pretty reasonable switching, but instead Necrozma is going to come in. I assume to trade the Rocks, or I guess Tinkaton would be the Rocker. Okay, actually, it gets a really important knockoff on the Hydrapple, which goes for a Fickle Beam.
That's going to mean
not
it gets
tearing.
two-shot, right? By Keldeo?
Not quite. It'll do about 46 on a similar roll.
Okay.
But after regen, it will be 2-hit KO'd. You need one extra round of regen. So maybe the priority would be to get Toxapex up back into full HP so you don't have to sack versus the Terra Blast Ghost. At the same time, maybe it's not the end of the world, because you do have the Meowscarada pivot. Hydrapple does dodge a Heat Wave, goes for a Fickle Beam, knocks out the Necrozma, which did not go for the Terra Fairy, obviously because the Keldeo already Terra'd. Now
yeah, the Heat Wave
Dragalge
probably wasn't going to do too much, but fortunate miss.
Yeah, it probably would have done like 25-ish, 30. But here Dragalge comes in for the revenge kill, but we do have a full HP Corviknight, so just going to go to that on the substitute. So sub T-Bolt on the cards here, but the Corviknight is faster, going to go for a Brave Bird, and that means with the Corviknight being faster, you are able to roost this off as you lose your flying type. And then being a pure steel type, the only thing Dragalge can hit it with is Focus Blast, which we've already seen sub T-Bolt, most likely to be dual stab last 2 moves. So pretty free roost there, and then a switch to Meowscarada, but Tinkaton comes in. Not sure if that was a prediction or just trying to catch the Corviknight to get the Rocks trade. Either way, it's going to work out here, as Tinkaton should be able to just go for Rocks here, but Meowscarada stays in, goes for a Choice Banded Low Kick to the Tinkaton. One of the only ways Meowscarada can 2-hit KO Tinkaton is Choice Banded Low Kick, and it looks like that's exactly what Fierce Flamethrower has. So Tinkaton is 2-hit KO'd, but gets Rocks for its troubles, and now you're locked into the fighting move. The Keldeo is right there. Does Fierce Flamethrower call the Keldeo?
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, we don't have a switch into Keldeo Terra Blast, so he does make the proactive Hydrapple pivot. Really nice play there. Also would have covered the Tinkaton staying in for most moves. Maybe like a Play Rough would have been annoying, but still. Hydrapple ends up working out quite well. You're going to see the Terra Blast gets a high roll this time, 52%, and Fickle Beam does not get the all-out. So something's still dying to the Keldeo, but at least you got some chip on it. Now Meowscarada comes in, threatening a Choice Banded knockoff, as Mandibuzz is going to come in to absorb that. Gets rid of the heavy-duty boots. Is it weak armor here? It is not weak armor. As Duraludon going to be the pivot in on a U-turn, gets a crit, not really too impactful, as Meowscarada is going to be the one to come in and reveals heavy-duty boots. So this is also potentially threatening a low kick, although Duraludon does get light metal, could essentially be a resist to low kick. So I don't know why Meowscarada is coming in.
I believe.
Yeah, not heavy at all. So maybe we're looking for like a triple axle kind of thing, or a knockoff maybe. I don't know. Why do we go with this? Do you have a better option? Maybe there just wasn't a better option. Maybe Keldeo would have been reasonable there, but the Terra Dragon is available. So if you Terra Dragon, you can live any Keldeo hit and trade with the biggest threat on Aegis's team. So maybe you just don't have a better option. You're going to see a Terra Dragon. It's actually Scarf Duraludon.
Oh,
Oko the Masquerada. So a major swing in the battle here, as Tinkaton's going to come in and force this out as it is locked into Draco Meteor. But Tinkaton coming in, that's not really a big problem. We can go Toxapex, farm some regen, or we can go Landorus, or we can go Corviknight. Many options available. We go Landorus as Keldeo double. So really nice double from Agency. Is going to be rewarded with a KO here, most likely. Oh, maybe it's a 50-50, right? Because you could stay in on Terra Blast, live that, and trade. Or you can go Toxapex and absorb the Surf, but maybe Surf just 2-hit KOs. The Toxapex is under 50%. After regen. We go Toxapex. Do we see a Surf 2-hit KO? Oh, that's an easy 2-hit KO. Yeah, not going to be willing to make the Meowscarada pivot. And we're just going to go back to Duraludon, and now another big opportunity to do damage.
Yeah, and with everything chipped and like no boots on the Mandibuzz, maybe you can just Flash Cannon spam.
Yeah, Flash Cannon seems pretty safe, and Agency agrees. He's going to go Dragalge, which might be able to absorb 2 of them. Oh, not quite. Wow. That's a very strong Flash Cannon. Would have expected that to take it a little bit better, but still, Mandibuzz going to come in. And we're just going to switch back to the Landorus. There is now not really a whole lot that can come in on this Landorus safely. So we're actually going to go for a Taunt here. Not sure about that. Let's Rocky Helmet Landorus. Shout out to SV, bro. This is there to like punish Meowscarada U-turns. You saw it was the initial switch in to Meow, and if there is a triple axle, it's probably easy to take 3 hits to knock out, so you get 50% in recoil. It's not the end of the world. But okay, gonna U-turn to the Corviknight, which is gonna be leftovers. Should be able to roost up on this Mandibuzz. It's actually faster than the Mandibuzz, so this could be minus speed on the Mandibuzz to get slow U-turns into this Corviknight, or this Corviknight's just packing a bit of speed. Either way, Mandibuzz should be able to get a slow U-turn here after the roost. But like, to who? Nothing really beats this Corviknight.
Like, the only thing that beats the Duraludon as well is like potentially the Mandibuzz, like if it's locked into Flash Cannon. So like, feels like this Duraludon is a bit inevitable. Yeah, so I guess you can PP stall the Roost a little bit, try to catch the Corviknight at low HP on your U-turn. Like, this is probably your best opportunity, and even then it's not super great to go for a U-turn. Oh, if you go for a U-turn here, okay, Corviknight's dead. That seems like an error from Fierce Flamethrower, because now Keldeo can come in and force a KO, potentially. Should be pretty easy to just click Fighting Stab. Mandibuzz that low? Does Flash Cannon kill after Rocks now? How low is it? Oh, probably not. Yeah. It might be close. Depends on the Mandibuzz investment, really wanted maybe. To keep Mandibuzz low or something? I don't know. Yeah, this Duraludon might be like the endgame boss here. So maybe it doesn't matter if the Corviknight's low and goes down. Goes for a Terra Blast, maybe doesn't have a strong Fighting Stab. Because otherwise I think that would probably be a better play. But either way, it doesn't matter. Duraludon's going to come in, go for a Flash Cannon, knock out the Tinkaton. And then now can spam Dragon moves. The Mandibuzz has to live this. We go Keldeo. So I guess the Mandibuzz... Oh my god, it just kills? God damn. I thought he was just like going for some like... damage, but I did not realize it just straight up killed. That is insane. Well, now there's an actual game to be had, right? Because Meowscarada dies to that. But oh wait, Landorus is just free here because like if he comes back in on rocks, he's gonna die. Feels like Landorus U-turn should be pretty much checkmate. All you have to do is hit one axle. Looks like maybe even you don't have to, depending on the low kick rolls. It goes for an Earthquake. Earthquake felt weird. You can taunt this. Oh yeah, you do have taunt, so it's actually all covered. Yeah, you just taunt the Mandibuzz, force the helmet hit. Too. Yeah, and at this range, surely a low kick is enough. Yeah, slightly safer endgame. Yeah, totally fine. Wow, crazy performance from Scarf Duraludon of all things. Yeah, the really great surprise KO on the opposing Meowscarada, as well as that early game Hydrapple pivot. Really nice stuff. All right, no, it was a Landorus pivot that covered the Tinkaton and the U-turn from Meowscarada. Put him in a favorable position immediately, got those rocks up. Was able to capitalize throughout the entire game. So 1-0 lead to the big dogs over the Draft Dodgers in what many would say is an upset in players. So really well done from Fierce Flamethrower.
Now we
The
go on to
student beat the
game
master.
2. Yep. Now to keep the team sides consistent, we're going to go here. This is going to be Lax, which is Silly Guy 5, versus the Soviet Onion, Merp 3. Funny game. Oh yeah, is this the one?
I remember this being
No,
pretty
this
funny.
isn't-
I don't think this
isn't the game we're
crazy
thinking
one.
about. Yeah, but yeah.
It is a funny one, just not the crazy one.
Yeah, we do see the rare Typhlosion in SV. A mon that I think low-key has some potential with the addition of like Boots, Eruption, and like it could be a pretty nice secondary Terra option as well. Like those Terrafire stab moves do hit like a truck, especially versus a team like this where the fire resist is like Araquanid, really. Not a whole lot in the ways of fire resist, which is why you see that Typhlosion coming to the game, I'm sure.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
gonna
lot
be Terrifier.
of Firebeak SV teams that we see nowadays, and like like we don't see that many like offensive fires drafted. It's pretty much just Cinderace and Ogerpon. Sometimes you see Gouging Fire. So like these low point Typhlosions are pretty potent if they can like fish the right matchup.
Yeah, and this is certainly the right matchup for it. Then you have the Rotom for the Terrapagos, one of the matchups you want as the Rotom user. And Hydrapple just looks super annoying, like there's no Dragon Resist. It looks like Lax's team is just lacking important resist for Onion's team. So we'll see how Onion is able to capitalize on that. Maybe some response could be in the Terra types, but we see Terra Ghost on the Gliscor, which does not really help with either of them. And then Terra Bug on the Archaludon, making you even weaker to that Typhlosion. So it's going to be a tough one for Lax. Let's see how this goes. Terra types on Onion's team is going to be Dragon, Hydrapple, and Fire on the Typhlosion. Just going for the boosted stabs, which makes a lot of sense into this team. Araquanid's going to lead off. Anytime you see lead Araquanid, you immediately think Sticky Web is probably going to go up. And then you do see the Terra Ghost Gliscor, so probably the idea is you get the webs up and you spin block the Treads Forever with Fizdef Gliscor. Totally reasonable, but the problem with that is it does allow in the Samurott quite easily, and then that Ceaseless Edge, super annoying. Like, hey, you don't have a resist to that either.
Resisted, yeah.
Goddamn, what are you supposed to do? Immediately, Terra Dragon on the Hydrapple goes for a Dracomir, lands a little bit to the left, really important miss. Does 67%, nice. And it's going to be red carded out into the Iron Valiant. What does the Araquanid go for? It's going to be a Miracle, and Valiant is immediately taken out.
That is probably the best draw I could have gotten out of the red card by far.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Alright, but now Hydrapple's back on the field for a KO from Fickle Beam, it looks like. As we're going to see, a Leech Life does literally nothing, and Fickle Beam is going to knock out this Araquanid. Now, Archaludon comes in, threatening a Draco of its own. We don't have the greatest switch-ins here. I guess you could go Treads and try to get that spin-off before the Gliscor Terras, which is exactly what he's going to go. Hard Treads, gets the clear amulet, avoids the webs, and this should be a pretty free spin here. As Deoxys comes in, this is going to be Helmet. It is going to be Helmet, but the spin does go through.
Oh, wait. I'm being told in the chat that if we go back to that turn 2, not only was there the red card, but like this is an interaction we don't see a lot. The Hydrapple actually activated Eject Pack, but it got canceled out by the red card. So that's like a pretty crazy interaction that you almost never see.
Okay, so red card goes before the Eject Pack, but they both get used up.
I guess
so. He was
so.
forced into Valiant, looks like.
Oh wait, so did Merp 3 choose which mon he went to? Or
I don't
was it
think
random?
so. So I don't think you
Okay.
ever go Valiant there.
Yeah. Like
You would
honestly,
go Samurott if
I
you
wonder
got to
if you would
choose.
have preferred to like just have hit the Hydrapple. Obviously you wouldn't have because it was a Jetpack, but like I was just like thinking like, what is the highest value like mon to get with that combo? Like
It might be
was
Treads.
pretty good. Treads would have
Honestly.
been maybe a bit better with this like sticky web strat. But either way, getting a full Val for that and getting webs up is probably worth your Araquanid.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Valiant goes down, but you do get the spin off and then Rocks up as well. So you're gonna have a hazard advantage. Or I guess we're matching hazards now, but an Earthquake here should 2-hit KO the Deoxys. So it brings it low. It's a Rocks trade, not the end of the world. Now Samurott comes in, threatening a Sucker Punch potentially. Doesn't go for it, takes the superpower, so allows it to be chipped in exchange for a spike. Pretty reasonable overall. Takes more Rocky Helmet, but now double hazards up as Gliscor comes in. We're just gonna go hard Hydrapple. You do have that Terra Dragon Draco Meteor, and Earthquake does literally nothing. Very regenerable, but you see a substitute gonna take that Fickle Beam. This is Sub Protect. You should be able to PP stall all of these dragon moves, and there it is. Sub Protect. Which means this Hydrapple doesn't really beat this Gliscor 1v1, and you're gonna see a Toxic go out on the all-out. Okay, that's the only way Gliscor could go down there, and yeah, it felt pretty safe to just spam Substitute Protect. You weren't in any danger. You have 32 turns that you're basically unkillable. Way more PP than this Hydrapple has. But maybe Lex getting a little impatient, goes for the Toxic, but Hydrapple just hits that all out. Not
maybe
like
worried about like a nasty pot or something. I'm not sure.
Nasty Pot on the sub is a good thing for Lax.
Yeah.
Then you get the sub up,
you
and
like
Toxic the
maybe
next
he
turn.
could have just
Yeah, this felt like a little bit of impatience. But the Toxic is on the Hydrapple now, but costs your entire Gliscor. That can't be good. Now Arch comes in, it is going to be Boots, and misses a Draco, evening out from that turn 1 miss. So Samurott comes in, and we're going to force the Shell Break here? Yeah, the Shell goes down, gets another Spike, but here, it's really tough to stay in as the Samurai. You kind of have to go Rotom to avoid the spin, because these hazards are really important for that Ogerpon. That Ogerpon's a big threat if it comes out at 100% HP. So I'd expect to see Rotom coming in here, and there it goes. Does Trap go for the spin, goes for Flamethrower, catches the Rotom, but this is like max Spadef Rotom. And gonna pack the Light Screen Lumberry, prepared for all situations.
Wow.
Yeah, and now gonna Volt Switch out, probably just sack the Samurott, guarantee in the Typhlosion with Light Screen up. Now we're gonna go Hydrap. This is gonna give up the spin though. Yeah, so we just sacked him on to prevent spin to just allow spin anyways. Feels like weird. A misuse of resources there. And Rotom comes in on the Terra Starstorm. The Trap is still going to be able to get a Toxic.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels
and
like...
it lives!
Oh my god, and it's still alive.
Oh no.
So
Quick Attack Typhlosion. Okay, yeah, Scarf, yeah.
Okay.
Now, Arch comes in. It's going to take a lot from this Eruption, but it does have the Sturdy. So it's going to live, fires off a Draco, and does knock out the Typhlosion. And now Rotom comes in, but... -2 Arch, does this kill? Probably not. Max Spadef Rotom?
Maybe you save the Archaludon for the Hydrapple after, because it's faster, no hazards.
Oh, I think a Volt Switch is coming, right?
Yeah.
Goes for Draco. Doesn't kill the Rotom. Here's the Volt Switch, knocks out the Archaludon, and now you have full HP Hydrapple Terra Dragon versus full HP Ogerpon, yeah. Is this like bulky play rough? Goes for Swords Dance on the Draco Meteor. Oh, that is super Spadef.
Nothing. Oh my god.
You're definitely going to see a Synthesis here. And this Ogerpon should be able to just win the game. Yeah, Spadef Ogerpon, one of the like easiest checks to Hydrapple. And turns out, even with the Terra Dragon Draco Meteor, able to shrug that off. Gets the full damage Fickle Beam.
I think he's safe with a heal here, though. Like, unless he crits or gets another all-out. I think.
Yeah, another all-out could get it done.
Draco did like 54.
57. Okay. Yeah. To heal up to 65, that's more than a roll. So I think Onion has to go for a Fickle Beam here. We see the Synthesis. Do we get an all-out? We go for a Draco, which was the wrong play anyways, but
yeah, because
now we could just synth it back up to full.
Yeah, you can spam synth anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, would have done 59. Yeah. Game was done. Right, and Lex really pulls that one out. All right, so that's gonna be game 2, and
Draw in the chat says I think it killed. I'm not sure which move he's referring to. Maybe
I don't know. I just work here, you know.
He said it a minute ago, so I'm not because I don't think it's about the Draco because the Draco did 57 before, so it definitely wasn't killing. Oh, yeah. with the Rotom, there was some interaction. Okay, never mind. Anyways, really back and forth game. That was a good watch.
Yeah, really feels like Lax stole that end game. felt like he was down, but Onion made some small errors, and Lax always able to capitalize on those.
The Terapagos interaction really favored Lax there. Like, he got a lot of value out of it. Probably more than he should have been able to.
Thank you, Vergi. Can always count on you to clear things up. Alright, now Money Guy versus Draw 15. This is going to be our ORAS game. Draft Dodger is going to be Money Guy, one of the captains of the big dogs. And we're going to see a Hydreigon and Granbull bench from Draw, and then on Money Guy's side, Latios and Ampharos are going to be benched. No Latios makes a little bit of sense once you see the Metagross and the Diancie, but still feels like a pretty strong mon. So gonna have to justify that bench somehow. Alright, so ORAS, we do see the Mega Absol. Could be packing like an Iron Tail for that Diancie, and otherwise from the Diancie there's no real Dark Resist. The Dark Resist mainly looks like Stunfisk, to be honest. Fishing for statics on that Absol should be pretty reasonable, to be honest. Oh, I get it, Vergi. You're so smart. Yeah. But also with Hydreigon on the bench and Granbull on the bench, this, I guess Iron Tail hits the Granbull, but this Absol most likely is going to be packing Play Rough or Superpower to cover that Hydreigon as well, so we got to keep that in mind. Let's get into the game. Stunfisk is going to lead off into the Absol itself. Absol doesn't really love to stay in on this Stunfisk. Probably, like, what do we switch into, actually? Stunfisk beats the whole team. The hell? Nidoqueen's going to come in on a balloon. Okay, that makes sense. Some forced prep for the Stunfisk. And now threatening an Earth Power of its own. We're going to see Rocks go up as Blastoise comes in. No, a Toxic instead catches the Blastoise. Also would have been great on the Stunfisk, so pretty reasonable. And now Clefty's going to come in on the Scald. Gets crit, but no burn. And now probably going to see a Spike go up. And there it is. Money Guy with a Spike advantage as Metagross is in. But we do have a Slowbro. We stay into T-Wave. Feels like the Slowbro was right there. Keep the HP on your Klefki. But Rocks are just going to go up. So I guess you get the T-Wave for free. Now Slowbro can come in. But now, yeah, the Thunder Punch prediction is available. And that's going to be Life Orb Metagross. But with the Para, we're able to slack that off. Actually, we go for a Foul Play, and that makes me think this is probably not Slack Off. This might be Assault Vest Slowbro, aimed at checking the Diancie and the Torn. It's going to stay in on the Torn next turn. As a knockoff comes out, let's see if I'm right. Does kill, and that is Assault Vest Slowbro. Yeah, no heal and Foul Play being on the set are some pretty telling signs, but you don't have a switch into Torn, really. Like, if Klefki wants to come in, this could always be like Lumberry Heatwave, and then you're sacking your Klefki for basically nothing. Well, now the Klefki's going to come in anyways, and we're going to see, is the Torn the Lum set? It is not. We're just going to go Stunfisk as a Spike goes out. And Stunfisk, I mean, you do have to break the balloon on Nidoqueen, but now at least you know about it, so you can go for the Infestation, force that balloon break, and now next time the Earth Power is pretty free. But we're going to stay in on Earthquake.
Oh my
Takes
God.
a whole lot of damage from the Stunfisk.
Policy.
Yeah, lives that.
Oh, and it just kills back. Oh my God.
Alright. No item on Torn was revealed at lead. Was it? We're at turn 11. Yeah, no item. So this is something about ORAS, which I wasn't paying attention to, but you can actually see itemless mons in Team Preview. You see right here?
I didn't know that. I wish I...
Yeah, they took that away in later gens. But here, Earthquake, Weakness Policy, trades into the Nidoqueen, and now Absol comes into Revenge. Could get staticked here, so a little bit dangerous, but manages to avoid that. And now Torn comes in. So with there being no item, we know it's going to be Acrobatics, but also leads me to believe this is going to be Superpower as well for that one-hit KO on Absol. So do we see a Sucker Punch, or do you see Klefki switch in? Pretty reasonable to go Klefki. We see a U-turn. Okay, fair enough. Now Metagross comes right back in for another Life Orb hit. And Keldeo's going to come in banking on a Meteor Mash here. And it's going to be a Thunder Punch. Brings Keldeo very low.
Pretty free click into all these remaining mons.
Yeah. Would have covered the Torn, the Keldeo. Yeah.
Like, Absol is so squishy, he would just get you.
It would take a lot anyways. Yeah, maybe even in Bullet Punch range. But now, Torn in. Klefki going to be the response once again. As the Acrobatics does come out, does 23%, which is nothing too much for Klefki to deal with. Now, Roselia going to come in, eats that Thunder Wave, could be Natural Cure, and not really care about this. Could set up a Spike here, but Absol going to come in, preventing that Spike. We're never going to know. It's a full pair. And now Knockoff be a Violite, but Giga Drain gonna do so much damage to this Absol. And folks,
oh, and it lives.
Absol is shit. Now Torn can come in and revenge kill the Roselia, but the damage has been done with Absol dead. There's very little in the way of revenging Diancie at this point. I'm going to see a U-turn into the Klefki. But Torn can just switch out to the Blastoise here, it looks like. But Money going to make a double to Keldeo. Does it catch it? Oh no, Torn's just going to stay in and knock off, trying to remove the lefties from Klefki. Because it is annoying to remove. But yeah, now we're going to see the Blastoise, which is the play Money Guy expected last turn. But going to be a little bit early on that. And now the Blastoise comes in, able to go for a Seismic Toss, bring down this Klefki. Another Seismic Toss will knock it out. So, gonna switch to Torn to absorb that next hit. And now Torn threatening a KO on this Blastoise. Game's not over quite yet. Is gonna knock out the Blastoise. This is carrying Iron Tail last. There's a world where this is able to do it. Klefki comes in, eats the Acrobatics, threatening a Thunder Wave. Diancie can't exactly switch in, so this Torn is gonna have to just take that Thunder Wave. And now you have the odds of Hurricane Confusion, Para odds, and you have to hit an Iron Tail on the Diancie. Let's see. Hurricane not going to be able to get through it. And draw with the win
Pretty
over Money Guy.
From draw.
Yeah.
I liked his Stunfisk set to lure the Nido.
Yeah, Stunfisk very strong. Trading for that Nidoqueen did open up the Diancie, but he was never able to really get that Diancie in. But at least what it was able to do is free up that Thunder Punch Metagross, forcing Keldeo to be the switch-in rather than the Nidoqueen itself. So, well played, and that's going to be a 3-0 lead for the big dogs. Pretty scary stuff. Draft Dodgers need to get on the board.
Well,
Fortunately, though, they do have
team
Vergi 1. This guy is clinically diagnosed as insane, and he's going up against Phagos, but crucially, this is Phagos outside of the Game 8 situation. This is Game 4. Phagos is not fully powered up, so Vergi does have a real shot to win this game. Young audiences do not watch. I didn't actually see this game myself, so I will be reacting to this one live. But okay. We do see the Dragapult, which is going to run into a Florges here and a Corviknight, so there are some options for Phagos to deal with that. The Gallade, though, having a Florges as your fighting resist is not super sturdy into this Gallade. Zen Headbutt, Poison Jab, both going to do insane amounts of damage to this Florges. Could be Kiabia Berry trying to stave that off. It could also be Choice Scarf Florges, something to get the jump on this top 3 offensive core of Samurott, Gallade, and Dragapult. Definitely a real set into this. You do have the trick for the Empoleon. And then if you have Rocks up, the Talonflame is not really a resist to Moonblast. So I could definitely see a Scarf Florges coming. On top of that, actually, where's the Rocker? Wait, we brought no Rocks versus Talonflame? That can't be correct, right? Right?
What rocks do they have on the bench even?
Let's see. There's a Mamoswine on the bench and Slowbro. So it's only really Mamoswine that's able to rock on this team. But still, I would expect you want to bring the Mamoswine versus Dragonite. Okay, interesting choice from Phagos. We'll see if that ends up biting him, because this Talonflame's going to have free reign the entire game. Right. The Greninja looks like a pretty decent threat, all things considered. And then the Gallade is probably the other big threat. I mean, maybe Gengar can do something, but really, I feel like Vergi has the matchup advantage here, especially with no Rocks up. Now, Gengar's going to lead off into the Empoleon, goes for a T-Spike immediately. So T-Spike is going to hit half of the team, including this Dragapult, but the Lumberry, he's prepared.
Lumberry.
Florges is able to come in quite comfortably, and you can see Shadow Ball uses 26%. It is leftovers, so not going to be that Choice Scarf Florges set, and it's going to go for a Calm Mind as Talonflame comes in. And we're going to see a Swords Dance Talonflame. Now we're going to see a Will-O-Wisp trying to cut down on the leftover Trailblaze. We're going for game immediately.
He was just nerfing the Trailblaze damage.
Brilliant.
Vergi is too smart.
Too tough. Now going to U-turn out, but this Florges is getting dangerously boosted. Dragonite is the response to Florges, and I actually think I have seen at least the early game of this because I remember the sequence. Florges into Dragonite, the Fairy type versus the Dragon, and who's going to win?
Oh my god.
I mean,
The
Ironhead's
dragon with the
not
burn.
quite going to get it done, but E-Speed is being threatened.
E-Speed.
And there you go, Dragonite able to serve as that emergency button. No rocks up, making a huge difference here. But Gengar going to come in, go for that Hex. And now pivots onto the Dragapult, catches a Thunder Wave. That's kind of crazy, no? Now Dragapult with the Florges removed. Hold up, this is a massive threat. Shadow Ball should be pretty free here, and Gengar's just going to stay in and die? Feels like we had a Corvangle, maybe even a Greninja pivot, something like that. We're going to see Protect, scouts the Scarf Greninja lock, and now Dragapult able to just stay in and go for another Shadow Ball, it looks like. Corviknight is going to come in. This could be a T-Bolt. It is a T-Bolt, but...
Oh, catches it.
Okay, gets the...
And gets the power.
Okay, a
a
lot of text going through there. But again, why do we sack the Gengar when we have the Corviknight able to take 2 hits? Feels like a mistake from Phagos. But now Rotom Heat's going to come in on this Talonflame U-turn. Gets Dragapult back in for one more hit. It's going to be a Shadow Ball. Rotom takes that. Takes quite a lot actually, 57%. This looks like it could be an offensive Rotom. But now Gren's going to come in and Empoleon going to be the response. Does have low kick. Puts it into Torrent range. Looks like that might not even be Torrent. That should just be competitive then. Because I feel like a crit Torrent kill would just kill.
For the defog, yeah.
Yeah, so Gren able to get out of that one alive. We're going to switch to Rotom.
Oh, it worked. Okay.
Yeah, because you revealed locked into the low kick, so Talonflame pivot, pretty obvious, and Faye makes the boss read, goes to the Rotom, and now it's a pretty free Volt Switch on the U-turn. Like, nothing on this team wants to take a Volt Switch. It's going to be Empoleon sacked, but Rotom does take that U-turn chip. Is in 2-hit KO range of like a Flare Blitz from that Talonflame. Now Samurot's going to come in on the Corviknight, going to go for a Ceaseless Edge, sets up the spike, but this feels a little bit strange from Virgie. It's going to allow the bulk up from Corviknight. Oh, it's Encore Samurott. That's going to be potentially game saving here.
Everything.
And now another Ceaseless Edge is in order. Oh, goes for a Swords Dance, and now this Gren is going to get Sucker Punched or Aqua Jetted. It's going to be Sucker Punch. And now, do we have a response to the +2 Samurott? Should be Gallade able to live one. Goes for a bulk up expecting the Sucker Punch, but it's going to be a Ceaseless Edge, and now that's going to be in range of the next Sucker Punch. Is Citrus Berry. Shout out to J Ricky. And we're not even going to play those games. We're going to go hard to Talonflame on the next bulk up. And that's just going to be a Brave Bird KO. Rotom comes in, surely going to be 2-hit KO'd from this range. A crit's just going to knock it out. Doesn't really matter, the next one would have killed anyways. Now Corv comes in. Do we have the Flare Blitz? Looks like the last is going to be Roost on a set like this. So just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp on that Brave Bird. Now should be able to just U-turn out into a Dragonite, I suppose. Corviknight goes for the Roost. This is a little bit scary to break this Corviknight with Samurott already so low and poisoned. We're going to get a Roost off with a Dragonite, but bulk ups are going to be starting to stack up. Dragonite, with it being burned, should be able to be to 1v1 it. And actually with T-Bolt as the last move, that's going to be the game immediately. Dragonite's just going to sweep with the burn damage. Dragonite goes down. Really nice tech reveal at the end there. That T-Bolt, Dragonite, and an E-Speed will finish off the Gallade. Virgie played like Thanos was using Florges early all week, but should have definitely saved it in hindsight. You should have brought Stealth Rocks, bro. Why? Imagine that Florges, but you just have rocks up. Don't you just win? Like, so, I swear. You didn't make your team? I mean, doesn't take a genius to say bring rocks versus Dragonite and Talonflame, right? So maybe a little bit of a mistake in the builder, and it's going to cost him there as Draft Dodgers take that game. And that's going to be somewhat evening up the series, but it's still Big Dogs up 3-1 as we go into game 5. Now this is going to be Habada versus Friedel for Wii U. What a username. Friedel going to be Charizard equals trash in this game on the side of the Draft Dodgers. Haba, one of the captains of
will
the
be on
Big
the other
Dogs.
side.
Shout out to Abdullah. Yeah. Alright, looks like it's going to be a Sun matchup versus Zarude. So you see that Sun boosted Raging Bolt, the Slitherwing. It's actually a Slitherwing mirror. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this team preview, I'm gonna send that directly to Chop. I still don't know exactly how to pronounce that guy. It's a whole lot of consonants in one vowel. Send him a screenshot of the Slitherwing mirror, because I know he will enjoy that. But here we go. Alright. Alright. So, Zarude in this is going to be forced to be the Raging Bolt response. That's why you do see it as Tera Fairy in this matchup. Whereas on the other side, the Raging Bolt is going to be Flying type, looks like. And then the Slitherwing on Haba's side is a secondary Tera type of Ground. Whereas on Friedel's side, the Slitherwing is just raw, not Tera. Alright, let's get into the game. Obviously this Ninetales looks like a pretty big threat offensively by itself. So, could be playing into that as well. Iron Onion leads off. The Air Balloon treads into Zarude, which should be able to handle this without tearing, but there is the threat of Megahorn. Maybe it's a little bit safer to go Corv or Aloe on this turn, but lead treads most likely to just going to be a rocker, especially look at the team, there's no other rocker available. Probably just going to get him up. And there it is. So Haba stays in, goes to the power up, breaks the balloon. That's going to open up this Landorus, who no longer has an immunity to that Earth Power as long as the Raging Bolt is not terra'd. You're going to see Eject Button Aloe gets into the Slitherwing. Probably going to be Choice Scarf the way he's using it, just to beat the Iron Treads. Maybe it's going to be... maybe it's not, just because Slowking Galars feels like a pretty hard stop to a Scarf Slitherwing. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. So Volt Switch out into the Slowking. On the Earthquake, that's going to be a lot of damage. Looks like it might even be a choice-baited Slitherwing from that. Yeah, so eject buttons on both of the region Pokemon on each side. Gonna get that Raging Bolt in on the field, and now a Tera Flying is certainly coming. And this Zarude has not Terra'd Fairy yet. So this is going to be really annoying to absorb this Raging Bolt hit. Gonna have to go Landorus, yeah. So Tera Flying, there's gonna be a Tera Blast, and actually Landorus eats that quite well, especially with the help of the J-Ricky. But still, this Flying type Raging Bolt feels like it's not even forced out by this Landorus potentially. Could just stay in if you want to. Given that you don't really have a great switch in either way, it feels like this Raging Bolt might just want to duke it out. You do have the Healing Wish in the back to heal it back up if necessary. And yeah, you're just going to stay in on the rocks, go for another Tera Blast, and it's going to be a 3-8 KO. Here's a Rock Slide, but less than half. And Landorus going to go down, so Raging Bolt gets what was promised to him. Reveals Leftovers, so probably going to be Calm Mind is what you expect when you see a Leftovers Raging Bolt. But okay, the rock's up. Friedel going to be looking for a spin opportunity sooner rather than later. Just to make sure this Raging Bolt doesn't have to step on rocks the entire game. The rocker's dead, so once you get that spin off, rocks are gone for the rest of the game. But finding that opportunity is going to be pretty difficult. Might have to sack to get the free treads in. But here's Zarude comes in, going to go for the Tera Fairy. Goes for a Trailblaze, so starting to set up. What does the Raging Bolt go for? It goes for a Volt Switch. Brings the Zarude a little bit lower, and now we go Iron Treads, but this is going to die to a Power Whip? Or no, I guess it's out of range, right? Didn't it do like 40 something? Yeah, 46, so this is a spin opportunity. Goes Alomomola, and there it is. The rocks are now gone for the rest of the game. Aloe gonna take this Volt Switch. Reveals to be Spadef, it looks like, from that damage, as Ninetales comes in on the Wish in the air. Which could be a pretty free switch to Zarude, but could be a like, offensive Ninetales overheat there, which would be annoying, but Zarude might be able to take it anyways. And here you see an Encore trying to catch the Aloe. Force it into the Wish, but Haba gonna see right through that, go hard Zarude, get that all the way back up to full. And now what do we switch into the Zarude? Ninetales just gonna stay in, gets rid of the Heat Rock, and we're just gonna Roar. It doesn't really get you a whole lot out of the turn, aside from diffusing the situation a little bit. Now Iron Bundle, the Iron Bundle check, gonna take that flip turn, and now Zarude is in, threatening a Trailblaze or Power Whip. Don't really have a great switch into this, so just gonna stay in, take your damage. This is Scarf Bundle, could get another Ice Beam off, but no. Just gonna sack the Slowking, it looks like. Now we're gonna pivot out into the treads and sack that instead. Okay, we're just taking damage on everything? I guess. That felt a little bit strange. Not only did
we just took an extra 25 on treads.
Not only did we like take damage we didn't have to, we also stalled out our own sun, which, I mean, now we have to reset it, go into Ninetales. Feels like we could have used that sun,
but without a slow king.
At least the Zarude is quite low at 48%. Gonna be forced to heal that up with the Aloe later. And Slitherwing in, we're gonna see the Healing Wish immediately. That's gonna go right into the Raging Bolt. Could be a Calm Mind here. And like, how do we beat Calm Mind, Raging Bolt? Corviknight's the switch into Raging Bolt. It's actually gonna be Volt Switch. I would have loved to see that Calm Mind there. You just stall out Sun so that Zarude didn't get Leaf Guard. Oh, Verky too smart. Okay, eject button, or if the response to Bolt, that can't be like super correct. Here, Thunderclap. Oh, but Slitherwing lives on one, gets off a huge choice banded attack booster, Flare Blitz in the sun, and Raging Bolt surprisingly lives that, but only barely. And now with no Healing Wish in the back, and this sun about to be gone, this Zarude could come in. It's a little bit of a 50-50 between Synthesis and Knockoff, or even Trailblaze from this range might pick up the KO. We're gonna see the Thunderclap, and Zarude actually lives. It looks like it's Assault Vest Zarude from that damage. Which makes me think this is probably Specs Bundle, knowing the damage it only did 40% to the Zarude. Feels like AV and Specs Bundle situation. First impression to Aloe does 41%. Gonna be a close combat follow-up, knocks out the Corviknight, but Aloe is gonna reach in all the way back up, and now you should be able to set that Healing Wish into the air for that Zarude. And I don't know how you can beat the Zarude in the endgame. Here it is, comes in, takes rocks 88%. Iron Tread's gonna be the sack of choice, goes down, but Trailblaze is gonna be a 2-hit KO, crucially giving you +2 speed on this Zarude. Always gonna outspeed anything that Friedel has in the back. Now has Tera Blast, one-shots the Slitherwing, not the greatest physical bulk on that guy, and Zarude's just gonna be able to take this one, and it was a Specs Bundle. So really nice endgame from Haba. Crazy that the Slitherwing was able to live on one and Flare Blitz that Raging Bolt. That guy was looking unkillable, but Slitherwing able to take that. Honestly, the hero of this game, even though Zarude got all the kills, I wouldn't have been able to do it without that Slitherwing. And now that's what, 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1, I think.
4-1 for the big dogs.
Big dogs.
Yeah, so the next win is going to be series clinching. But now we go into game 6. We're going to see Hellam versus Garf. Hellam, one of the strongest players on the Draft Dodgers, so we really need a win from here if we want to stay in the series. Look for that draw. And now you see this matchup. Ting Von is going to be Garf. Doflamingo is going to be Hellam. So Garf using this like proven core from, was it DCL? There is an Ogerpon Hearthflame on the bench, pretty standard like bulky Torrenting Lu with the regen Toxapex, really hard to break this defensive core. Whereas on the other side, you see one of the kings of balance breaking, Terra Gholdengo. With screen support from Deoxys, this thing is going to be a absolute menace. Can't be whirlwinded, can't be taunted, all that stuff. Can't even be toxic, right? Because that's a status move, so Toxapex not really able to beat it 1v1 either. So Gholdengo is going to be Terra Fairy, able to get that super effective Dazzling Gleam into the Ting Lu, the Dragonite. You also wall both of them quite easily, and you look at like what's the guys beating the fairy types? It's Corv and Pex, both quite weak to a Thunderbolt coverage move. Really interesting that the Pex is coming into this. Is it Terra, the Pex? The Pex is not Terra. The Terra is Rotom and Torn in this game. So Rotom going to be Fairy, Torn going to be Dark, and then the Gholdengo going to be Fairy, with the secondary Terra being Hydreigon with the Dragon typing for that boosted Draco Meteor or Scale Shot. You know, a lot of people are like trending towards the physical Dragon Dance variants of Hydreigon in SVs in particular. Here into the Corviknight though, maybe less likely. Let's get into the game though. Ting Lu gonna lead off into the Ogerpon. Good lead for Hellam. Just gonna go for a knockoff, expecting a switch to Corviknight, I would assume, but I think just gonna stay and go for the Ruination, bring that down. We're gonna trade hazards here. This probably favors who? Who does this favor, getting all the hazards up? Feels like, okay, with Tinglu going down, but with the hazard advantage, and you're able to knock off the boots here. Really hard to say who came out of this ahead, because you do have this Tusk able to force the Rotom in as a spin block, but I don't know. Gholdengo's in, Thanos goes for a Nasty Plot as Corviknight comes in, goes for another Nasty Plot, staying in its base typing as Light Screen goes up, but now we're +6. Blink and you'll miss it. We have a +6 Gholdengo on the field. Gonna be Tera Fairy into the Dragonite. Is a 2-hit KO. And Earthquake only does 26%. Should be able to heal this off quite easily.
Oh my god.
Back up to full, this Corviknight could be packing Iron Head. Here's a Shadow Ball. Looks like it's not packing the Iron Head.
Okay.
This could be quite dangerous here. Light Screen goes down.
Scary for
Shadow Ball. Gonna kill the Rotom. Torn comes in. Gonna Tera Dark for some reason. That just means you take 400% instead of 200% from the Dazzling Gleam, and it's just gonna be a
that's
forfeit.
it? Oh my god, that's the whole. I didn't actually see this game live, so
God
that was
damn.
surprising. Okay.
I mean, here you see the power of Tera Gholdengo into these fat cores. It's just, it's too good.
Continuing the success from DWL.
It does feel like there was room to bring the Ogerpon in this matchup, though. You know what I mean? Like, we could have used an Ogerpon versus this Gholdengo. That Hearthflame able to go for the Encore with Mold Breaker, gets through that good for gold. And if you try to Nasty Plot on the Corviknight, you just U-turn and Mold Breaker Encore. That's probably the way out, right? But not on the team. So that's gonna be the game. Gholdengo shows why it's so good into these balance cores. And now we go. I mean, series is now 4-2, right?
Yeah, so
there is
playing for a tie here.
There is a little bit of room for Draft Dodgers to come back in this one. Now we have Saint versus Chess. Now I remember seeing someone say this would bring in big numbers if this was like 2020. Two certified old heads coming back from a big break from Pokemon. Unrevealed item could have been Ability Shield on some tough shit. That would have been tough. You are right about that. Okay, looks like a pretty similar team on both sides. Like, you can kind of match up the Mons 1-for-1 almost. Celesteela. Rotom Wash, mirrored. And then you have your Psychic type, Necrozma and Deoxys. You have your Fast Mega. I mean, pretty similar team. We'll see. In this, like, pseudo-mirror, who's able to come out on top. Alright, Deoxys defense going to lead off into the Landorus. Probably expect to see hazards going up. Maybe threatening an Ice Beam. But yeah, Stealth Rock goes up as Landorus goes for a Swords Dance. Swords Dance Landorus. And it's not Z move. The Z users are Steela and Necrozma. And then Steela, Deoxys, Mimikyu on the other side. But Landorus gets that +2. Threatening a knockoff here. Does not quite KO the Deoxys, which is going to chip it with Nightshade. Not the end of the world for Saint. But is going to put it in range of Fake Out into Return. So, going to make that switch into Necrozma as a Fake Out does come out. That felt pretty forced, so really not too much to say there. And now Rock's Trade is going to go out. Hydreigon in, going to force that out. And go for a Dark Pulse. There's no resist, so Steela going to have to take that. But Max Spadef Celesteela able to take it pretty comfortably, all things considered. And now it's a pretty free Leech Seed. You can stay and go for a Dark Pulse Flinch, go for a Leech Seed Miss, may as well go for it, but now going to be forced out by the Seed. Could go for a double Seed here, does go for the double Seed, and that's going to bring Celesteela all the way back up to 66% after this Protect, or could we see a triple Seed? No, not quite. There's the Protect. Should Protect one more time, get those lefties, see what the Hydreigon wants to go for. Another Dark Pulse is coming. You can just Leech Seed this again. This is like very annoying for Chess's team to deal with this Leech Seed Celesteela. Could go for a double Leech Seed again. Chess calls it out this time, and that Dark Pulse is going to bring it very low. Next one will kill, so Protect feels almost forced, which is why we do switch, but these Leech Seed calls, very interesting, but gonna miss that one. When you're like spamming Leech like that, one of them is gonna miss eventually, although that did feel a little bit ahead of schedule. Now another Protect, get the leftovers, may as well. The Rotom doesn't have leftovers of its own, so no harm. Now, can you live the Volt Switch? Gonna see a Thunder Wave on the Leech Seed. I expect another Leech Seed coming out, or a switch to Lando is also pretty nice. With the Leech Seed up, you're gonna negate the Rocks damage, and now with Rotom very low, goes for a superpower, but doesn't quite KO. And gonna take an HP Ice is Yache Berry, able to live that, no problem. Leech Seed gonna knock it out. Now Lopunny comes in, this is in range of return, and the entire team doesn't really take 2 returns. Probably gonna see a sack here. Is the Landorus? That probably is gonna be the Landorus looking at what's left. So Lando does go down there. But now you have the Sceptile able to come in. This should force in the Celesteela. We get to find out what exactly the Celesteela set is. But a Swords Dance Sceptile able to just go for it. And now Celesteela has to fear this +2 Thunder Punch. Get a Mega Evolve, goes for that Thunder Punch to 78%, very strong, and able to tank that Heavy Slam, does way less than I would expect. Probably quite bulky spread on the Sceptile there, as Lopunny's going to come in. Combination of Fake Out and Quick Attack could knock it out, but actually not going to be the case with that HP investment. And Leaf Blade comes out. No Drain Punch, trying to cover for like a Mimikyu swap, I suppose. But now Mimikyu's going to come in, Shadow Sneak, picks off the Sceptile, and now Nihilego comes in. Now this game, he's up 4-2, but the game is not over. Mimikyu definitely has room to break through all these guys, especially with the power of the Z move. I mean, one Swords Dance is all you really need, but one Swords Dance is also all you're really going to get. You can use the Disguise here on this Thunderbolt, fishing for the para, may as well, to get that Swords Dance, but now +2 Sneak probably doesn't KO the Nihilego from 88, but it's going to be close. As Steela comes in here, another Swords Dance would be crazy, but Shadow Claw comes out. I feel like almost another Swords Dance would have been correct if +4 killed the Nihilego with Sneak. But regardless, going to knock out that Celesteela, as now Rotom comes in. We do have the Z move available. Feels like you just have to rip it, and there it is. The Z... A Ghost, gonna just knock out the Rotom from full. And now Necrozma comes in. It is Rocky Helmet. Actually lives the Shadow Claw from max defense Necrozma, but misses the Heat Wave crucially. This is a close one. Shadow Claw gonna bring the Mimikyu down to 55 with the Rocky Helmet. Can Nihilego knock it out from here? Should live the Shadow Sneak still. Does live the Sneak. Sludge Bomb comes out. Doesn't kill, but does get the poison. Is the Hydreigon Scarf? Or is the Nihilego Scarf as well? We don't really know. No information given. Here's the Dazzling Gleam. Hydreigon is not Scarf, and that's going to be the game. Saint comes out with a very narrow victory.
Oh, Mimikyu almost pulled it back.
Yeah, did so much. But Saint does lock up the series for his team with that Nihilego. And that's going to be one more game in the series, but Big Dogs taking home the 2 points. Mimikyu claws, he wins. That is also true. Yeah, maybe perhaps a choke.
We got Man and the Lakers here.
We got Nim versus AM22, just for a differential game. Alright. Let's just get into it. This is Gen 8 Swish. Alright. Raikou going to lead off into the laners. Worth noting, this team takes heavy inspiration from, I believe it was DCL Season 2. It was a team that C was using to very good success. And this team, very similar to that. Just throwing that out there. Raikou lead into the Landorus. Definitely going to favor Nim on this. But Raikou just going to stay in, which is a play you make if you're Shuka Berry, which he is. So, able to make that play. But that is definitely Life Orb Landorus. 84, goddamn. No, go for a Scald. Catches the Zaru, but no burn. Pretty scary for Nim. Maybe has Jungle Healing, though. Does it get Jungle Healing this gen? It should, right? But Toxapex able to come in, get that Rocky Helmet chip. Zaru does not have knockoff in this generation, also doesn't have Swords Dance, so Peck's pretty safe as a switch into it. Now, Ball Breaker, the the Aegislash comes in for a Spec Shadow Ball, just 94 to Volcanion. Wow. And with the Future Sight in the air, Latios just feels like the perfect switch in here. So AM22 navigates that one expertly, and now Zarude's going to come in on the recover, but we still have that Toxapex able to switch in no problem. We see a double to Landorus, Nim making a great play there to get his rocks up as the Pex is forced out. Really great stuff. Now it gets huge chip on the opposing Landers on the rocks trade, but this Landorus now dead to rocks. Can't just go for a Sludge Wave, catches the Latios, so Nim making baller moves. Big damage on a ton of Pokemon for AM22, and now the Draco comes out, but Spedef Zarude able to take that no problem, should be able to synth this off. And there it is, so Latios effectively blanked by the Zarude, but Scrafty able to use it as an entry point as Corviknight comes in. We're going to see a Dragon Dance. Okay, Scrafty able to set up and goes for an Iron Defense, trying to 1v1 this core, but the core reveals Bulk Up. This should beat the Scrafty pretty comfortably. Go to Dragon Dance again, trying to boost past this Corviknight, but there's no way you're going to be able to break through this core without a crit. Goes for the knockoff, gets rid of the Rocky Helmet at least, but this Scrafty is going to be forced out sooner rather than later. Only doing 19%, and this Corviknight definitely packing the roost. Another Dragon Dance. This feels like we're kind of setting up when we're not allowed to do so. Like, even at +3, we're doing 17%. This Corviknight is going to beat it 1v1. Finally, we go Raikou on the Roost turn, so gets that one correct at least. But now, Corviknight not really forced out entirely. I mean, can basically just get a KO. Goes for a Roost, expecting the Volt Switch. And now the Specs Aegislash comes in, and this should be able to force out the Corviknight. Goes for that Shadow Ball, only 21% to the Zarude, but at least the crisis is averted. And now the Landorus comes in, another double on the Pex. Really fantastic use of this Landorus, only at 8%, and he's getting so much out of it. But Latios able to pivot in, goes for that recover. So now you do have a Landorus switch in for next time, but again, Zarude comes in, Pex able to come in. Do we see another double? No double this time, just goes for the Darkest Lariat, making sure that that Latios is forced out. Now a switch to Aegislash as, stays in for the next Darkest Lariat, gets big damage on the Aegislash. Peck's gonna have to come in right back again. So it gets some helmet chip. The Zarude is low, potentially to a KO range from the Latios, so he's gonna go for a Synthesis. Loses leftovers for his troubles, but still he'd prefer a healthy Zarude. Now Scald comes out into the Slowking, gets the burn immediately, but Slowking not really too bothered by the burn. Should be able to throw up another Future Sight in this position, as he does. And now can just go Corviknight. Aegislash gonna be the double on the Corviknight, really nice, but you do have this Zarude pivot available. Goes for a Roost, which feels a little bit strange. Could have gone to the Zarude, no problem. Even with that Flash Cannon predict, Zarude able to handle that no problem. Would have done 40%. But Corviknight, I guess it worked out. And now he goes Zarude, but the Pex double is able to catch it at least, proactively not allowing the Landorus double. But Slowking comes in, and we real double water move on the Toxapex. This is probably so that the Zeraora can't Subcalm Mind on you as easily. But, I mean, Zera's going to come in and force you out anyways. The Raikou comes in on the Future Sight sack. Yeah, finding Zeraora turn with the Future Sight in the air is going to force a KO there. Now Landorus comes in. It's probably not going to be Choice Scarf, but I guess you don't have to risk it. You have a Corviknight. And we're going to see Rest Landorus comes all the way back up to full, but no Chesto Berry. So probably you're going to see Rocky Helmet on this Landorus. But the opposing Lando comes in, takes advantage of the guaranteed sleep turns. I'm just going to fire off that Psychic, and now Latios comes in on the Sludge Wave. He's getting every turn right with this Landorus. And you don't really have to sack versus Latios. You can go Slowking, you can go into Zarude. Worth noting, this was a Choice Scarf Slowking. I missed that earlier. Was knocked off. But now, Latios reveals the Calm Mind, actually, which is a big deal in this endgame. Should be able to get some big damage on the Zarude here. Yeah, +1 Draco to 67%. Nice. And then -1 Draco should be in range, so gonna use up the Zera HP to defuse the situation. The Future Sight gonna get a little bit of chip, but it feels like this Latios is potentially a big threat in the endgame. Goes for a Play Rough into the Rocky Helmet of Toxapex, and now one more hit will knock out the Zeraora. Doesn't really want to take this trade. I'm gonna go Volcanion, expecting a water move, but a double to Latios gonna catch this. It's actually Scarf Volcanion. So that's gonna catch the Latios and get the poison. That poison is a huge deal, because this Latios was only really scary once it's able to set up, and now it's low HP, poisoned. Feels like not gonna happen now. Another double to Landorus. He's getting so much value out of this 8% Landorus. Truly squeezing water from stone. And dodges the Drake on top of it, so Lando is it able to get all 6 kills basically? I guess it got 4 kills, right? But it's not gonna kill the Scrafty. It's healthy enough to live, but god damn if Landorus didn't put that team on its back this entire game. Now Zero are able to come in, force a KO with Plasma Fist. It's gonna go down to the helmet, but I mean, Scrafty versus the world, but the world includes a bulk up Corviknight. Feels like this is just going to be Nim's game, and a Brave Bird is going to secure it. Really well played with those doubles to
Amazing
Landorus.
Landorus gameplay from Nim. Got like almost every turn right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with that 8% Landorus, like it was 8% very early into the game. They got how many attacks off? 3 Earth Powers, 2 Psychics, 4 Sludge Waves. I guess one of them might have been on the Raikou. Yeah, the Earth Power is pressure stalled, so. But still, that's so many strong moves coming out. Really well played. Oh, hey. Next series.
Oh, wait. I know this game. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's an interesting game.
This is going to be Trick of Eye versus Nature's Guardians for our second series. And it's going to be Wyatt Number versus Ryan. Now, fortunately, we have a little bit of an insider in the call, so take it away.
Sure. Yeah, so this matchup felt pretty good throughout the week for me. Honestly, I don't really remember too much about my prep, because like we've had the mids week in between, but I just remember that it went really long early game. Yeah. So, yeah, so I believe I had like a weakness policy lead Keldeo, intending to trade with like Starmie or just like exert pressure early game, because I have the Amoonguss that handles the main thing that would beat that, the Sceptile. And then otherwise, I think we had like a Fizdef Electrode, Dragon Dance Latios. I believe Scizor was like ST. And then Landorus was Rock Polish. Yeah, because like looking at this game, basically all of these Pokemon on the enemy team are like one-shottable from a Rock Polish Lando with like Sludge Wave, Earth Power, HP Ice. So obviously like Resist Berries are gonna throw or like Resist Berries or Air Balloon are probably gonna come to counter that. But yeah, so like otherwise playing towards the Rock Polish Lando endgame is what I remember.
Alright. Makes sense. Like, Landorus is an alpha threat in this matchup.
Yeah.
Playing towards that, like, totally reasonable.
I believe the idea was, like, to chip and or knock, like, chip things into range of dying, like, through their Resist Berries or, like, knock them off, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, like, Rock Polish Lando, simple endgame. But unfortunately, as we are about to see, the plan kind of goes off the rails pretty early on.
So here we're going to see Togekiss lead off into the Keldeo.
So
now
here, you would expect this Keldeo to okay, so like Togekiss is leading. It's pretty it's pretty likely that it's prepared for most situations, has something like a Resist Berry or a weakness policy type of thing. I have a weakness policy on my Keldeo, so I'm intending to like stay on this and hit it. But I make the I don't know what I was thinking here, or if I was thinking at all.
Let me just say,
Scald literally.
There is a move that Keldeo gets, and it's super effective.
Yeah, Keldeo gets a super effective move on this, which to my brain is like, oh my god, super effective. I gotta click that. Sadly, it has the potential to activate the weakness policy that he did have, and then it also does less damage than the Scald does. So I don't know why I clicked that, but it's yeah,
just
pretty rough on
the
lead already.
Yeah,
especially because like here I was thinking, maybe I go to my Electrode, which has super effective stab, but believe it or not, it does not kill max HP Togekiss from this range.
Oh, I believe it.
Forced into my Lando here. Probably gonna force the thing out, but I still go for the safe play, which bites me in the ass.
Felt forced. That's reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like instant loss if you get it wrong. Then here we see a very fortunate Leaf Storm dodge, and we see my super effective hidden power do 30 to the non-bulky Pokemon on the opposing side. This Amoonguss is basically designed to beat or trade with like most Sceptiles. Try to get a bit of chip on the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I believe I'm Assault Vest for that damage. I'm like max Bizdef.
I'm pretty sure you are both Assault Vest here. It's gotta be AP Starmie.
This trade felt pretty good to me because like Starmie was kind of one of the roadblocks for like Scizor and like potentially Landorus and stuff. Here, this Giga Drain lets in this threat again, but at least it's not boosted up. Oh, okay, so I can explain this turn. I was having trouble with this Electrode because like you would think like T-Wave or like Thunderbolt spam is pretty free here, but like Mega Sceptile gets Lightning Rod, and unfortunately, if that thing gets the +1 from the Lightning Rod, it actually like one-shots the whole team, or like not one-shot, but like one-shots the whole team and two-shots Amoonguss. Yeah, and it's also faster than everything because I don't have a Scarfer here. Yeah. So I was like playing extra cautious, which like maybe since I'm behind here, I have to throw out like a Thunder Wave or like a T-Bolt, but oh well. That's why I'm also clicking Signal Beam here just to like do a bit of chip and then cover the Sceptile somewhat.
There's a double, catches your Amoonguss, but
yeah,
not really super afraid of Jirachi.
Yeah, it doesn't end up like mattering that much, but good play from him because it gets back in his Togekiss, which like kind of forces a kill.
Or, and like, now Sceptile does come in on the T-Wave.
Yeah, and then he does get it, so I got it wrong.
And he doubles out for just for fun.
I'm not sure why it... well, maybe he didn't...
So...
Because from my calc, if he just Dragon Pulse twice, it would have killed my Amoonguss, but like...
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't fully invested or something. Not sure.
I have a sneaking suspicion that he thought this Electrode was faster because in every gen except for Oras... In every gen except for Oras, it's 150 base speed. But in Oras is base 140, so it's slower. But maybe he didn't know.
I
got crazy hiccups right now.
Electrode in this gen was also pretty unfortunate, because the Sceptile outspeeds. But anyways, I'm not sure why all of this happens.
Okay, to be honest, that looks like Spadef Sceptile.
Potentially, I'm pretty sure I'm uninvested Electrode though, so it might not be.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, I don't remember what the calcs were.
Starmie gonna trade HP.
I don't really switch into this amazingly, so I just like trade with it. Sceptile is kind of in Bullet Punch range and like dead-ish, so it's like whatever. Here I've felt like, okay, Balloon, like this is probably the last thing that like guaranteed stops my Lando. I just need to like try to trade with it. Get the Balloon off. So I got that, use my sack up. And then now, yeah, the plan was to set up, so I think I tried to set up on that guy with my Latios. And I think I'm expert belt, so this is like a pretty close roll. Like, I'm not sure on the Jirachi's bulk. If it was like max HP, then like, could have killed, but you never know. Maybe it had like more defense or something. But, yes, and I got T-Waved.
Yeah, no Lumberry. This is so sad.
Yeah, that's a problem. I was spamming Ice Beam once the Jirachi got 1%. The thing is, like, it wouldn't have done that much to the max HP Togekiss anyway, so like...
Yeah, especially after that really Roost probably does like 12.
Yeah, like, it would have done 40 when it came in, but he can just Roost faster because I'm parried, so like, it's not really the most impactful thing. The main thing is, like, I wish that I could have kept this Togekiss in Bullet Punch range, because if you look at this Agility Scizor, the only thing that takes a hit now is Landorus, and I'm intending to knock off the likely Ice Berry. So yeah, like that was the idea here. Like, just hope that the Togekiss switches out. Like, if I could have kept the Togekiss a bit lower, it would have been.
Well, you also have to look at it from his POV. Like, his lose condition is like 2 Swords Dances with Scizor, which going Lando actually affords him.
Yeah, true.
Like everything's
The
in
other thing
range
is like
of +2,
he
+4.
probably scared of like SD quick attack for the Infernape as well, like stuff like that.
Oh, Infernape's at
So him staying
44.
in
That
makes
guy
sense.
dies.
Yeah. The thing is though, like I felt like I could have maybe gone Lando instead, but like my scissor just dies to the next guy if I like bullet punch twice. So
hmm
yeah. So here I'm just banking on like, okay, I just gotta hope that his Lando is not the Ice Berry, and if it is, well, GG.
Well,
Yeah.
in the
it
Lando
is,
mirror.
which makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just explodes all over you. Ah, frick.
And then here, was there a way for this guy to win? I don't think so.
No, this is an Infernape.
Yeah, there's an Infernape.
Oh!
Like no fire.
Wait. Pause. But
Yeah,
there's a
sadly, like,
Togekiss
he would've
still.
had to
Like,
miss Air Slash anyway. So
Yeah.
or like, yeah. So
yo, Air Slash Flinch would have been tough though.
yeah. Anyways, well played by Brian. That was
Mhm.
a good game. Other
And
than the lead,
what have we
obviously.
learned today? We've learned we probably don't Icy Wind the full HP Togekiss with our Leaf
Yeah,
Keldeo.
especially when
Not
Scald
the
does
best
more.
trade.
Yeah, a bit too quick on that one.
All right. Now game 2 of the series. So Nature's Guardians up 1-0 as we go in. And this is going to be... Who is this? Lejon versus Orn Latios.
We have like a super mirror matchup here. I think yeah, we have 5 identical guys on either side, and then 2 water absorbers as the differences.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy mirror.
Yep. So, which water absorb guy is better? Because everything else is the same.
Their secondary stabs are neutral into each other.
Yeah, it feels like the Volcanion could definitely do some damage here with like a Sludge Bomb for the opposing Ogerpon.
Yeah.
Steam Eruption kind of hits the whole team quite hard. Does also get access to stuff like Superpower for the Cyclozar. Whereas
From
on
what
the
I
other
remember-
side, the Ogerpon Wellspring, if it's able to get a Swords Dance, it's also quite scary, but the Torn is able to revenge a little bit easier, considering it's not Terra.
I remember our Volcanion had some cool tech for this matchup. I'm not gonna reveal it yet, because I don't remember if he actually used it or not. Like, and it's not my game, so like I don't want to reveal his prep.
Sure,
He didn't
let's
use
get
it.
into it. Actually, Terra types
was
we should
some-
look over. So Lejon has Terra Ghost on his Torn and Terra Electric on his Volcanion. On the other side, Orn Latios is going to have Ground on his Torn. And then the secondary Terra is benched, so we don't have to worry about it. I have Volcaleaf versus Ting-Lu. This should be a pretty free Steam Eruption. So just going to go for it. Does 86% and burns the Ting-Lu. That burn's going to be a big problem for the weakness policy, and it is Shuka-Berry. So, wouldn't have killed either way, but still, you get to keep a very high amount of HP, and there is that Body Press I was mentioning for that Cyclozar.
Oh yeah, Body Press was the thing I was talking about. I think we had like some Fizz Def with Body Press for the Cyclozar, which was...
Did Loki
cool
P just
mods.
quack at me?
I believe so.
Hey, Loki P. But now, Torn's going to come in. Thank you. And Torn's going to be the response to Torn, but Torn takes 70 from Torn, because the Torn is Life Orb. And goes for an Icy Wind, which, as we have since realized, is never the click. As you can see, it does 20 to the Ting-Lu. But
Yeah,
now, can just
maybe
go for the
let's-
Terra Ground, get that off, and a U-turn. Catches some Rocky Helmet Life Orb recoil, but does some damage as the spike goes up. Goes for a Play Rough, catches the Cyclozar on the switch. Really good play. It snipes that one from Orn Latios. And now Okidoki is forced to come in, which will eat the Ogerpon hit and KO back with a Gunk Shot. So could see a Jirachi pivot in, could see the Torn come in as it is Terra Ground. We're going to see Okidoki come in, which
checking
actually
the other
covers
Okidoki.
the knockoff as a prediction. Mirror Herb would have caught a
covered.
bulk up.
Yeah, covered everything.
And packing Psychic thing, so this Okidoki designed to win the mirror. But Jirachi gonna come in, able to play around that. And Jirachi, the response to Jirachi. Alright. Now, this U-turn does allow Volcanion to come in. Terra Electric, but the U-turn's gonna come out into Okidoki. What do we go for? It's gonna be a Flamethrower, just 50%. Is Okidoki
I guess
faster
he
than this?
Terra
It is.
Theirs just to get up the flying resist for later, I guess. And like,
It's probably to cover like a T-Bolt Jirachi, because we had no information on it.
That makes sense too.
And if it was T-Bolt Jirachi, like 4 attacks, like E-Belt kind of thing, that would have been pretty annoying for his team. So probably aiming to just avoid that situation.
Is he Terra Ground on his Torn? Terra Ground doesn't seem like particularly useful this matchup anyway, so...
this one is... Lejon's is Terra Ghost.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, it still doesn't look that great.
Yeah, it looks like it's aimed at spin blocking, but you only got 1 hazard up, so you don't really need to spin block. If Cyclozar wants to use a turn spinning, that's probably okay. And now a U-turn as the Okie Dokie stays in for a knockoff, gets rid of the Torn's item, which is Lumberry. And now Dark Pulse going to knock it out, but this Torn is very low. Opposing Torn comes in, goes for Bleak Wind, but misses.
Oh, I didn't see that this Torn is ground. Okay, Terra.
Yeah. Bleak Wind for Bleak Wind. This one connects and Torn goes down. Now it feels like Jirachi can come in. Yeah. Cyclozar, the response on the U-turn. No Rocky Helmet or anything, but now Okie Dokie can come in, takes the Outrage.
Outrage.
Is that like Scarf Cyclozar or something? Didn't do very much. Now Jirachi can come in. Threatening a Psychic, so Ting Lu gonna come in on the U-turn. Get some Rocky Helmet chip, and with a Spike, this Jirachi's gonna come in at 31 next time. On range of pretty much everything.
Scary as fuck now.
Misses a Power Whip.
Unless it misses.
Oh no. But Torn comes in, able to farm some regen at least. Can go for the U-turn, Rocky Helmet, and Life Orb not able to knock you out.
Maybe not necessary, but I mean, I don't know if Ting Lu had a way to touch Ogre Pawn anyway. So.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Here's an Iron Head. Gets the flinch on the opposing Jirachi. Is going to be Scarf Jirachi, but that's why you have the Rocky Helmet Ting Lu. Now a double to Volcanion trying to catch a double, maybe to the Torn or something, but no such luck. Just going to go down to the crit Iron Head. This is so sad. Now finally just uses that Rocky Helmet to KO, but looks like Ornn was just looking for a free switch into Torn or Ogre. That's exactly what he's going to get. Goes for a Trailblaze. Is that game? Is now +1 speed. Okie Dokie comes in. 50% it could live. Doesn't live. Yeah. Feels like it could have been a roll there, but now Jirachi definitely going to go down. That's going to be Ornn Latios with the win over Lejon Flames. And with that, Nature's Guardians are up 2-0.
for Chikabai. Yep.
But it's okay. We have the one, the only OG Albina to help stem the bleeding a little bit. As Accelerator, going to be the representative of Nature's Guardians in this game. And here we see, what gen is this? This is Gen, or Champions, I guess. Gen 9.5, you could call it. Alright, Champions game. This is interesting. So we're playing against Garchomp, but we're benching the Skarmory. Definitely raises some eyebrows a little bit. But you do have the Mega Floette, which Floette doesn't seem too strong here between the Mega Delphox and the Slowbro Galar. Should be pretty contained. What are the threats here? I guess Ceruledge is a massive threat. You need to save the Garchomp for it, but you just go itemless Garchomp, and then all of a sudden, this Ceruledge is like extremely homeless. You know?
Itemless Chomp, itemless Stoys. Yeah, like there's a couple options.
Yeah, itemless Chomp is something they actually run in OU, like Champs OU a little bit for that Ceruledge matchup. But let's see how this one goes. Delphox is going to lead off into the Conkeldurr. Conk going to be forced out of there. Doesn't get out of there as we see a substitute, but payback. Nice. So Conk could be Pyappa here, given that we're confidently staying in on the Delphox. Gets Gooey dropped, not going to be too annoying.
Elder Switcher?
Yeah, it's just going to get Drain Punched. Does have the Chople Berry, but it's going to get Mach Punched anyways, right?
Pretty favorable trade for OG Albina here.
Doesn't have Mach Punch. Going to be a pivot to Floette. A little bit scary, but catches the Draco Meteor. And now it's going to be a switch to Slowbro on the Floette. Obviously,
it's a rough
Max
Floette matchup with Slowbro and Delphox.
Yeah, and this does allow the T-Spike to go up. That is super rough. Going to be forced to look for a Defog on the Conk.
That hits 5 out of 6 Mons.
Here's a Dragon Pulse. And Guja's going to go down to the burn here. As Meowscarada comes in, takes that T-Spike. But Gudra does go down. Meowscarada, a pretty big threat in this game. Could be Choice Scarf. We see Protect Delphox. Okay, Sub Protect Delphox is definitely interesting, able to stall out enough turns for T-Spikes to do its job. Now we see the Garchomp comes in, looks like it's a bulky Garchomp from that damage. Now Floette's going to come in, but with this T-Spike and you have a switch into it, it's actually leftovers Garchomp, so not no item, but still able to check the Ceruledge pretty comfortably. Now
Moonblast, with the T-Spike, it looks like he's going to get like worn down and like checked with everything, yeah. Because like Accelerating has pretty potent checks for all his offensive guys. Like assuming Blastoise is meant for Ceruledge.
Gets a burn off on the Slowbro. Rotom does get poisoned. Gets a massive Pain Split on Garchomp. That's going to be really important for the Ceruledge. And rocks go up. Some even more damage on the Garchomp. So now you see if the Ceruledge is able to come in after like a defog from Conk, which the defog is coming right now if he wants it. Doesn't want it, it looks like. Gonna instead take the Floette turn. We're definitely gonna see a switch to Slowbro. We see a Calm Mind, but with this Slowbro being burned, now the Shell Sidearm is not able to break this Floette. Yeah, you see 27%.
With the poison though, like I think it still is gonna like get through, right? Like because Floette does so little damage.
Yeah, it does feel like Slowbro is still favored, and now you can force the recover turn and go into Hawlucha, threaten the Encore, and there it is. So Floette has been dealt with, but it's still back up to full HP, but crucially a lot of Synthesis PP being used in that sequence, and now the Delphox switch. Really great Delphox switch, able to catch most things, but Ceruledge at least covers that somewhat. Does Psychic kill from here? I'm not going to stay in to find out. So we go for a Poltergeist, and it's no item, Blastoise instead. Alright, now Torterra's going to come in, but this Blastoise could be packing Ice Beam, a little bit scary. See a flip turn into Hawlucha, and this is just as bad. Now a Brave Bird should be a KO. Yeah, Torterra's just going to go down here. And once again, we see Hawlucha being an absolute menace in Champions. This Pokemon is just great in the meta. Garchomp going to come in, going to take 2 Rough Skin turns to break through. So Meowscarada going to be basically in hazard range at this point, 16%. And now Blastoise comes in. I mean, we're locked into Scarf Axle. Should just be a pretty safe flip turn here. And there it is, Meowscarada going to go down. And what do we go to? Back to Hawlucha, keeps out the Conkeldurr. Ceruledge comes in, this could be Choice Scarf. We're going to guard against that by going Blastoise on the Shadow Claw. Still does absolutely nothing. A flip turn is in order. Even an Aqua Jet, that works too. It really did feel like Accelerating just had a great matchup here. All he had to do really is coast. And nothing Owen can really do about this.
Went up, it looked like pretty hard for Owen.
Yeah. And now you see the Delphog's able to come in.
I believe the Conk doesn't have defog, so like kind of just lose to the hazards.
Yeah, just give up.
Yeah.
What was on the bench here?
Dude, maybe like
Skarm
a Guts. Maybe like a Guts Conkeldurr like could have. Well, he was pretty low already, yeah. So.
Well, here's the thing: like Conk already like kills the entire lobby without Guts.
Yeah.
So... And there's the Payapa, which we did expect from lead. So at least knocks out the Delphox, but this Hawlucha should be able to just clean it up with Brave Bird. And that's going to be, what, 3-0 for Nature's Guardians.
3-0. Yeah.
You know, fight back.
We will.
Well, now we have Eye versus Pyronox. 2 very old players have been around for, like, it feels like since the dinosaurs walked the earth. Eye definitely the more well-known of the two, but Pyronox definitely, he's been around. I've teamed with Pyronox before in the past. He was fantastic. I've played both these players many times over the years, both more than capable of putting up strong performances. And here, we're going to see this Usum game. Both of these guys' best tier. So, should be a great one. The benches look pretty standard. Roselia Buffalant, Scrafty Delmise. Yeah, seems about right.
And then this is Yard.
Yeah, this is Charizard Y. We talked about this last week, but this is borrowing pretty heavily from existing Charizard X structures, but instead choosing Charizard Y to fit on there.
Yeah, the Charizard Y has been looking pretty good, and I remember in GWL it looked pretty good on. I think Flex Appeal had a Charizard Y team that was pretty successful.
Correct. And now the other side, we do see what looks like maybe a little bit of like Zapdos, you T-Wave things for the Mawile. You also have the Trick Room Memento into Mega Mawile. Lots of like support for the Mawile here. And then you have obviously the Zapdos, Keldeo, Garchomp trio, which is something that I was able to popularize in ORAS a while back in DCL 1. And then since then in ORAS, a lot of those Pokemon have like moved up to like round 1 material, so you can't get that trio anymore. But you can get a Newsome, as you can see here, and that the combination is still pretty strong, especially with that Mega Mawile on top of it. We'll see how this one goes. Blastoise going to lead off into the Garchomp. Could be pecking Ice Beam, so gets out of there into the Mawile. Catches the Ice Beam successfully, but now still has to avoid a Scald Burn or even a Water Spout. Okay. Goes for the knockoff, gets rid of the Wakan Berry. But Sucker not going to knock this out. So Mawile's dead.
Mawile's support out the window because Mawile's dead.
Yeah. I mean, definitely could have gone Keldeo instead for the turn 1, save the Mawile in the back. So maybe this is like a different kind of Keldeo, not so much like a breaker set. Maybe like it's Choice Scarf to revenge kill Zeraora. Something like that.
Yeah, to be fair, getting through this Blastoise does help like Chomp and Keld and stuff. So
yeah, so
could have been a trade he was comfortable with.
In a way, the Wall Breaker broke the wall, but surely could have gotten more out of the Mawile. Now, Kartana comes in to revenge kill the Garchomp, which is definitely strange. This Garchomp has revealed no information. Could easily be like a bulky Rocky Helmet, like Flamethrower set, and this Kartana would just be dead. So this is definitely interesting to me.
Thankfully,
stays in on the Smart Strike. Do we have the Flamethrower? We just get rocks
is
up.
Omniscient and knows that his Kartana beats the Garchomp.
Why did that work? Why did that work? Okay. So Garchomp takes Chip for absolutely no reward. And now Zapdos in. But Zapdos is looking like a big threat. Like, there's no like real recovery on Aya's team. So every Heat Wave, that damage is going to stack up. And now U-turning on that Rough Skin. So Uxie going to take a lot of Chip quite quickly. Now Zapdos back in on the Kartana. It's Tailwind up. So now Nidoking is going to come in and misses a Heat Wave.
I love the Tailwind.
That really
Kartana.
sucks for Pyro. Because Zapdos is your way of making progress in this game, so if you miss a Heat Wave, it's pretty annoying. Now we're going to see a double to Azelf, catches the Earth Power, stalls at the last turn Tailwind, really well played from Pyro, gets out of that situation, and now a U-turn on the Uxie, reveals no Rocky Helmet, and now Garchomp's back in to potentially set up rocks once more, as Kartana's in, and this is going to force a defog, but Garchomp can go for an attack here, or you could even just switch to Zapdos on that turn. I'm going to go Zapdos now on these Smart Strikes, so getting the most out of those turns. Now another Heat Wave is coming. Nidoking comes in, actually an HP Ice, which can do even more damage. But Nido is going to force that out with the threat of Ice Beam. But Pyro catches that again. Playing very well here, catching all of the pivots and misses his Hydro Pump. So unlucky. Yeah, and now, I mean, Garchomp can come in and force some chip on the Uxie. And Zapdos, I mean, how does II break through this? You see Psycho Cut as the last move. Like, the Zapdos is looking immortal. And Uxie comes in, and there's the Super Berry.
And Hyper Potion. No, Hyper Potion.
Okay, the Hyper Potion. As Garchomp comes in, trades rocks, but rocks trade feels advantageous for... It's hard to say, right? Because Zapdos is the main threat.
So, like...
Yeah, but the Zapdos is the main way he's making progress. So it does feel like, low-key, II wants these rocks to be up. Like, he's okay with this. Because also, like, Charizard doesn't need to be full HP to clean up an endgame, necessarily.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially with Tailwind support.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the +1 on the Kartana. Now Keldeo comes in. Definitely going to be Scarf Keldeo if you're using it like this. And there it is. The Scarf Keldeo knocks out the Kartana. And Zeraora comes in, threatening a Plasma Fizz. You don't really have a good switch in, so just goes for the Scald. Going to be T-Bolt instead, gets around the burn. But now... Azelf comes in. Definitely going to live one. It's actually Scarf and doesn't quite KO the Zeraora, so Zapdos going to take the Z move. Definitely going down to this Gigavolt Havoc. So Zapdos is dead. Now Uxie comes in. Azelf hits the field. what are you supposed to do as the Azelf? You U-turn into Cofagrigus. This feels like if there's a U-turn coming, okay, there's a Yawn. Same thing, kind of. Another Yawn, expecting a switch to Azelf there, but Cofagrigus stays in for the Calm Mind because it is Chesto Berry.
Chesto Berry.
Prepared. And now +1 Shadow Ball, gonna knock out this Uxie. But the Cofagrigus is drowsy. We're gonna go to the Charizard, which is actually even HP number. Definitely a mistake in the builder, but shouldn't matter too much in this situation. Gonna go for a substitute. Stalls out that sleep turn. Now Cofagrigus is gonna go to bed. Right? You can sub, but you can also over Tailwind. Yo, is this BGC or what?
I really like
Gets
Tailwind.
the 2-turn sleep, and that looks like it's gonna be the game. You have one more Tailwind turn, and this Scarf Azelf should be slower than the Tailwinded Zard, and that's gonna be the game. So I pulls that one out. Really felt like Pyro was working him in the neutral in that mid game, especially with those Zapdos turns, but a few timely misses, right? That Heat Wave miss, that Hydro miss. A lot of progress that Pyro was trying to make with all these great doubles and switches and pivots. Really wasn't able to get all that much out of it, not as much as he deserved. And so able to claw back with this Tailwind Zard. And this is something that Trick-of-Eye has been spamming this entire season, is Tailwind, Kartana, Tailwind into everything. I feel like you've brought it 3 times.
Tailwind, Kartana. Well, we got destroyed by a Tailwind, Kartana, and Swish week 1, so we just said, fuck it, let's just run it on all our Kartanas now. Yeah.
That seems broken. I want to do that. So now, we're still down 3-1 as Trick-of-Eye, but coming up next is Dr. Geo. Alright, Dr. Geo versus Rage in Oras. And
we have another Zardwai coming up.
Oh my god. Another Misto class? Alright, so Zardwai, this one looks pretty interesting. There's a Hydreigon able to resist the fire grass coverage at least, but Zard does get access to Dragon Pulse. That being said, a Haban Hydreigon is not out of question here, especially into the Garchomp matchup. Could be dual purpose Haban Berry there.
It gets like Head Smash too, right? So
it does get it also gets Rock Slide, Stone Edge. You don't need to kill yourself with recoil, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, I would expect like a physical, maybe a mixed Hydreigon with Haban Berry in this matchup. Maybe Roost 3 attacks with Iron Tail, Stone Edge, and maybe like just Dark Pulse. I could definitely see something like that. Although, maybe you can mix and match your coverage, but it does feel like the Sylveon is a pretty big threat to you if the Crobat is not able to beat it. And the Crobat's going to have trouble breaking through the Skarm, the Garchomp, Drapion even. Like, a lot of pressure on this Crobat. Speaking of the Crobat though, Taunt Crobat does look fantastic, so definitely going to have to watch out for that. Let's get into the game. Skarmory gonna lead off into the Rotom Wash. Good lead for Rage, but fast rocks on the Skarmory, so this definitely leans towards like an HO build from Geo. You see it fast lead Skarm getting the rocks up on Rotom, and you're like, okay, this guy is not planning on sticking around long term. So the rocks go up, spikes go up as Hydro, gonna bring the Skarm in burn range. Okay, so dual hazards up. Does this Crobat have Defog is the question. So Rotom doesn't have it this gen. Mew unlikely to carry it in this matchup, I think. And then Hydreigon, I feel like, does it have Defog? I feel like it doesn't. Because Defog was a Gen 4 TM, not a Gen 5 TM. So Hydreigon probably got it in later gens, like Gen 7, but not Gen 6. Right. Drapion going to come in here, force some big damage on the Rotom, it looks like. Goes for a Swords Dance, probably Lumberry if you're willing to make this play. And it is Lumberry, so +2 Drapion gets in, goes for a knockoff, does not KO the Rotom, but brings it in what looks to be Rock's range as the burn does go out, but Rotom is just going to go down here. Now, if you want the Defog, here it is, but not going Crobat is quite telling. Means this is definitely Taunt Crobat and not Defog Crobat. I feel like you can fit one or the other, but not both. So, Taunt Crobat aimed at like 1v1ing the Skarm, but the Skarm was a lead hazard bot. So that taunt is not going to be too useful in this game. Now Infernape comes in. Does Infernape even kill Drapion from this range? Lives on 1%. Takes a drop, and now +2 Poison Jab with the -1 defense is going to put this Infernape in hazard range. Now Sylveon comes in, revenges it with a quick attack.
Attack range too.
Now Crobat comes in, but I don't think a Defog is coming. I think you would have taken that opportunity earlier. But what are you switching to Crobat, right? The Skarm's dead. Just gonna stay in. Oh, it is Defog. Really makes me wonder, why didn't we take the opportunity earlier versus the Drapion? But Psyshock is gonna be doing too much. Can't exactly roost this off. You're gonna U-turn into what? Into Mew. Okay, it takes the Psyshock, no problem. Even a crit, 12%. We see leftovers, it's a bulky Mew. Gets the rocks up. And that's gonna be really annoying for the Charizard as a Yawn comes out. We Ice Beam the Sylveon and take a huge amount of damage and a sleep on our Mew.
This looked like a big mistake when I was watching.
Yeah.
Like, let the Mew sleep and then lost half the health. Didn't really get much back. Like, maybe just really aggressively predicting the Chomp to come in, but like, yeah.
And then this is made even worse when you see this next turn, right? Because now Abomasnow comes in and you're going to reveal it was soundproof the entire time. We could have just gone to that and, you know, instead of Ice Beaming for 12 and costing our entire Mew, basically, it's at 56 with no turns burnt. Should be as good as dead. Like, I don't see what you wake up against. We could have just gone Abomasnow in the first place, but alas, maybe scared of the HP fire. But now, like, with all four revealed, like, you should have known, right? You see Yawn, Psyshock, Quick Attack, the last is gonna be Hyper Voice. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, base Abomasnow does get soundproof. This is Mega Abomasnow though, so can Mega Evolve to get that boost in stats and get the hail up. Goes for the Leech Seed in regular form as Garchomp comes in. Feels like a Flamethrower is being threatened, so switches out to the Mew, gets some leftovers, but Starmie comes in, gonna get that spin off, but Mew does crucially burn a sleep turn, so could potentially wake up. Charizard makes its switch in, and now Mew gets 2 turns burnt, can switch out here into that Hydreigon. Catches a Dragon Dance, okay. Goes for the Mega. Is this like Outrage? It is Outrage.
Do we see a Haban?
And there's no Haban. So Hydreigon gonna go down. Could be like a bulky Scarf variant trying to pivot in and then outspeed with a rock move, but obviously Dragon Dance gets around that. And now a Abomasnow comes in. Gonna go for the Mega, but yeah, it's locked into Outrage. Gets a crit. Not gonna be too impactful, I feel like. This Blizzard into Ice Shard should pick up the Charizard anyways. Down goes the Zard. And it's Abomasnow in range of pretty much everything anyways. And now, because we're forced to Mega, now there's no Hyper Voice switch in, so Croat's gonna go down, but with the Hail Chip, the Sylveon doesn't have recovery, so Mew could potentially 1v1 it. Gets that last sleep turn, gets max turns unfortunately, but this Hail is chipping down the Sylveon a little bit. We're gonna switch to Starmie. This feels a little bit weird. He could have gone for a Yawn there. Force the Mew to switch out there. But instead, Mew's going to be able to roost back up to full as we fish for a Scald Burn, don't get it, and then we're switching to Garchomp on Volt Switch. Works out, but this Mew does reveal Ice Beam already, so Garchomp not going to be able to 1v1 this necessarily. Switch back to Starmie. We're kind of waffling a little bit. Okay, that makes sense. We're able to trick a Scarf onto the Mew, and now it's like, okay, can't recover anymore. A Abomasnow comes in if the Starmie's packing HP Fire, which it could be. Can't just go for that. Or actually, no, it's revealed all 4 now. So I guess it wasn't revealed before, but it is packing Ice Beam. Now Sylveon in is in quick attack range.
The thing with the crit on the Abomasnow earlier is like he probably would have been at a quick attack range, like, and then maybe just swept with like Blizzard into Ice Beam. I'm not sure what the calcs looked like.
Well, here's the thing, right? Mega Abomasnow gets significantly slower when it Mega Evolves. So Sylveon was likely faster. Just, you may as well Quick Attack when it's in Quick Attack range, right? Just be safe just in case it's like Jolly Abomasnow for no reason. But yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
Allows Geo to go for the super safe endgame. There was a world where Mew freezes the Ice Beam and is able to, you know, Scarf Ice Beam the Garchomp in the endgame. But Geo able to make it out alive.
Yeah, definitely unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back to 3-3, I believe.
Yeah. Oh no, 3-2. 3-2.
3-2.
Mm-hmm. But now we have Hydra versus. This is Manu. Mm-hmm. So Gen 9 here, some SV gameplay. We see Zarude versus this like Hydrapple team. Now, historically, Hydrapple actually has a pretty good track record against Zarude teams. Reason being, you can absorb knockoffs with it, and usually can 1v1 the Zarude. And so once you get that out of the way, then like the rest of the team has to deal with a Hydrapple, and your Zarude is no longer this big looming threat because Hydrapple could just regen, check it forever. You know, sometimes you'll see Terra Fairy on Zarude to kind of bypass that Hydrapple weakness, but here it's not going to be that. It's going to be Terra Poison. And we actually see Terra Ice Hydrapple, a rare one for sure, but is going to get Terra Blast coverage into Mandibuzz and Garchomp. And like a base Zarude, so I guess like Terra Blast is doing a little bit of heavy lifting. You also resist the ice moves from Bundle, you can't get frozen, but you are weak to rocks, which is like a major downside of the ice typing.
Yeah,
That
because you're
being
gonna
said-
have to imagine that you take a knock at some point against
Yeah.
the Zarude team.
For sure.
Like Zarude, Mandibuzz, and Okidogi.
At least on this time, you do have the Quillfish, or like the Overquill, to initially come in on Zarude. But with the Terra Poison, it's gonna not be scared of that Overquill at all. So you could be Fairy for the Hydrapple or Poison for the Overquill. Manu electing to use the Terra to remove Overquill from the counter playlist. And okay, let's get into it. We see Zarude lead off.
Get foul play. I'm just.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
curious.
so.
Does Okay. Okay.
So Zarude leads off into the Deoxys speed. Pretty good for the Zarude. Can just... I guess we're going to Terra Poison in front of this. Sure. Gets the Terra off, so now you don't have to fear T-Spikes. But you got an Okidoki anyway, so I don't know why we're Terraing immediately versus Deoxys. Okay,
Oh
why
my
did that
God.
Pain Split the full? I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense. Base 50 HP versus base 165, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, we're going to be going all the way
is
back
pretty
up to
funny.
full. And probably a Hazard's going up as well. So, Deoxys gets the knock on Zarude, some chip, and rocks up. And now Mandibuzz comes
He's
in. We're
still
able to
full.
taunt this. Removes the defog option and knocks the boots. This Deoxys is kind of going crazy. Gives the foul play. Could go for the Pain Split if you want to weaken this Mandibuzz, and looks like that's the option that will be selected. Another Pain Split is open, but you could also just taunt, prevent the defog guaranteed. But if you defog, you can just set the rocks right back up.
Oh, gets
Not a big problem.
got the extra value by not taunting
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. And now you see Scarf Bundle outspeeding the Deoxys speed. Now Hydrapple in with the rocks up. Mandibuzz at 35. Goes for the Terra Blast Ice. 20% to Zarude, but that's probably fine. Forces the Synthesis. And now with it being a poison type, you can use Iron Treads as the response. And with Mandibuzz being so low, this Earthquake's pretty free. Aloe can come in, but with the combination of Earthquake and Volt Switch, yeah, goes for the Volt Switch immediately, not even messing around. Gets the Overquill in and the spike is going up. Here's a flip turn. Is this Rocky Helmet? It is Rocky Helmet Overquill. So this Aloe not able to like fully regen back up to full. Garchomp comes in, forces it out into the Valiant, but it's on a balloon. Covers all sorts of plays. The Earthquake.
And now that
The
this
scale
Mandibuzz
shot,
is so
Swords Dance.
low, like now that the Mandibuzz is so low after rocks, like how does he defog against his team? It's only on Hydrapple at this point.
Yeah,
so, like,
you have to
these
sack
hazards
for
are-
the defog to Hydrapple.
Yep. Like these hazards are gonna be extremely valuable
Mhm.
because he knocked off 2 boots already. Yeah.
There's the Encore, trying to play around like a Roselli Berry, like Poison Jab, which is like worst case scenario. You're already in a pretty solid position right here, so may as well make the safe play, but it does allow the Zarude to come in for free. Could synth this off, but again, you have that Iron Tread switch in, no real problem. So back up to full on the Zarude, but an Earthquake is coming, and Aloe I feel like probably gets 2-hit KO'd at this range. An Earth Power,
For some
makes
context,
sense.
this is a Specs Iron Treads. Like if that helps
Huh?
with any of the decisions that the two sides take. Yeah. So
Good
that's
24.
probably an AD Aloe.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Alright, Specs Treads. Yeah. Never would have guessed that one from the 24. But then like
Because like it will help like understand some of the like moves
Yeah,
that get clicked
so
later
we-
and like the switches and shit.
so we go Braviary expecting Manu to go Mandibuzz to get the defog off. Because it's Specs locked into Earth Power. What the fuck?
Because like you would think like, oh, he could just go for another one, but he does
Yeah,
not
he
want these
can't.
hazards gone.
No,
So,
it's
like,
a losing
yeah.
play. So Braviary comes in on the flip turn. Now Garchomp gonna come in, force this out. Not gonna force it out. It's actually Scarf Braviary. Get some big chip. Do we see a Sword Stance? We see a
Like,
Stone Edge. He was probably just trying to break
So
the
this is
balloon
the
on
hazards.
Treads on the Valiant. But yeah, Valiant's gonna come in, revenge this. It was the Roselli Berry. So there's that. But now Okie Dokie comes in. Is this Psychic? Could be Psychic, but also could just be Scarf. Okie Dokie goes for close combat. Really aggressive play. Catches the Overquill and then gonna get rewarded for it.
Yeah, this Okie Dokie looks scary in this endgame. Like,
yeah. With
it's
our
two
Hydropple
fighting
being
weeks now.
ice type?
yeah, 2 fighting weeks and a
Yeah.
poison week. So
Mhm. But the Iron Viet. Alright, gonna force in this route. A nice double to the treads.
really good double.
Yeah,
but like
now-
it's so like it's a bit weird here because like he kind of has to predict again. Because well, actually no, he can just roll switch. Yeah, never mind.
It's a bit weirdier.
I guess like oh weirder, yeah. I was gonna say like he can't. It's hard to go for the Earth power when you're locked into it. So like he has to get
It
these
is,
Volt Switch turns.
But
right
Volt Switch
instead.
is totally fine to click into this. The ground type's dead.
Yeah, for
Aloe's
sure.
the likely switch in. You may as well just Volt Switch. And now you get Valiant back in on the field. Zarude didn't get the synthesis off, so it's at 50% after hazards. Can't really switch in super safely. So now gonna sack off the Aloe to get the Zarude in. We just have the Hydrapple to come in. Now earlier Hydrapple switched out of the Zarude, but now gonna go for the nasty plot. Is this Encore Zarude? It is Encore Zarude, so it is gonna beat the Hydrapple 1v1. But at the cost of like, this Zarude is not like a second move, or it doesn't have
Yeah, exactly. It's
set
not,
up.
It's not really gonna do too much damage into Hydrapple and the others anymore. Like
this
you'd
is really
imagine it's a
smart
move
here.
for Val or something.
Probably. But this is really smart. The Okie Dokie coming in here covers everything if it is Choice Scarf like I think it is.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see a switch to Iron Treads. Now,
So
does
now I
CC
think-
kill is the question.
If CC kills, I think Hydra needs to get this turn right to like stay in.
hmm
Like
You can go Valiant on CC, but honestly, that might be a 2 KO.
it might. Yeah.
I'm not super
it's-
sure on that. So I think you just have to
Bummer.
live.
yeah, it's-
Alright, can Iron Thanos live the CC from Okie Dokie? So we're going to sack our Hydrapple. Yeah, that takes 90%. Okie
I
Dokie
think
only has
just
one more
spamming
switch
the
in.
lock.
Okay, I guess we don't get to it KO'd. Yeah, it's close, but no to it KO.
Now you forced it out, and it's kind of like what
Mm-hmm.
he needs to win the game. Yeah.
So using the Hydrapple HP as like a way of checking what the lock is. But now Zarude comes in and we're just going to go for another Moonblast, I guess. But now you're threatening
Oh,
Encore. Here's the turn. We're going to see the switch out, predicting the Encore. Do we go for the aggressive Moonblast? We do not. The Encore comes out. So Iron Bundle finds its way on the field. And it's probably just going to be a Hydrapple sack if I had to guess.
Vacuum wave maybe.
Oh, it goes for Vacuum
he
Wave.
has the
Yeah, that
Vacuum
makes
Wave.
sense. Yeah, if you have it, go for it, for sure. And now I switch to Iron Thanos, and there is the choice specs. So now at least you can go for the Earth Power freely and not have to worry about the
Yeah.
Mana Buzz coming in. Because you have the Volt
Like
Switch
the
after.
Zarude has revealed that it kind of does no damage, so like you can kind of
Mhm.
just sit there and spam it.
Yeah.
He
So
doesn't really
Valiant
have a way
comes
to
in.
stop that.
Okie Dokie gonna kill this. But we have the Hydrapple sack. Oh, high horsepower.
Yeah, and that's his last entry with this as well. So
Mhm.
like, you scout the lock, or
Yeah.
scout with Val if it locked into CC, and then hope that the last suit can win.
Yeah, Zarude comes in trying to prevent like a nasty plot here or recover. So now it's a pretty safe Iron Treads. You can't really do much damage with the knockoff.
Yeah, it already
It
revealed it really
Uses
can't
the
hit you.
Okie Dokie sack. Iron Bundle has one more switch into hazards. It's gonna use it now. But the
That's,
Hydrapple's at full HP. Goes for the Hydro
Yeah.
Pump. It's not a 2-hit KO. This is especially defensive Hydrapple, it looks like. Goes for the recover. And I guess you could just recover until the Hydro Pumps are gone. But not gonna mess around with crits. Just gonna go for the Giga Drain. Knocks that out. Now Zarude, last mon, should fall to the treads. You could just sack the Hydrapple. And down it goes. Earth Power should
Yeah,
be
I'm
able to do
wondering
the
what
job.
the last move on this Zarude was. Like maybe a Terra Blast or something? Poison Jab or whatever.
Terra Blast makes sense for the Valiant and the Hydrapple. So, yeah, and you wouldn't click it versus Treads in these games. So,
I think like
Makes
when it was
sense.
in front of the Val, it was like at risk of getting Encore locked as well. So like
Yeah.
that could be why it didn't get clicked.
mhm. Makes sense. Alright, so Hydra pulls that one out. Pretty well played overall.
That was a really cool game by both sides. Like really close and a lot of like
Mhm. I
like
think
abnormal
biggest
stuff
thing-
going on.
Is all this hazard pressure from the Deoxys, right? That really kicked off the game.
For
like
sure.
A really strong foot from Hydra. Able to keep that Manabus very low with no boots, and you have double hazard advantage. You can just play safe the entire game. All you have to worry about is not letting the Manabus turn happen. And he was able to do so.
Okidogi only died to hazards. Like, I think that's all it took damage from. So like, or maybe it took like one hit at some
I think
point.
it
But
took,
like without that,
did it take a hit?
it took a vacuum wave from Val. But
Yeah, it took a
that
vac
might-
wave.
But like without like the double hazards or like even just the rocks, like it would have had like so many more turns, and like all of its turns were like generating massive progress. So yeah,
True. Speaking of generating massive progress, we have a Decidueye Hisui on my screen.
I'm not sure if those two, if that sentence makes much sense, but
All right, and for the sides,
We
we'll do
shall see.
this. All right, it's going to be Kyle versus J-Scurf, two of the heavy hitters on each lineup. And J-Scurf using this team kind of heavily inspired by the Fogbound Lake DWL team, which was the Darkrai, Blaziken, Serene's HO with the Gyarados in the back. And this team just looks like an upgraded version of that team, using Jirachi as the screen setter with Healing Wish. Then you have a Meganium to fill all of the gaps. All right, what was on the bench
I can give
here? The
I
Lamora,
can give a funny story
Mismagius.
about this matchup. So
Sure.
like this Blaziken team has been having a lot of success, like
Mhm.
very similar team in DWL as well. And we were like, okay, we don't want this team that we have here to face it. So I think one of us like added J-Scurf and said like meet you in slot 1 because he's been using the same team the whole time for some like reverse psychology. You know, he's not gonna go there because we know he'll pick the Blaziken. Unfortunately, he has
It's the
giant,
reverse psychology, or
yeah,
psychology.
Exactly. He
if
did
you
not
will.
give a fuck and just came anyway and got this and got the matchup that
And
we
you've just outplayed yourself.
Yep.
All right. Terra types here. We got Ground Blaziken, Dark Meganium, a benched Mismagius as well. On the other side, you do see that Terra Goldango, Fairy, right? This is Terra Goldango? Yeah, Goldango and Ogerpon, which is benched. And Decidueye, I guess. Decidueye is Terra Stellar, but is a Terra Pokemon. That's interesting. So this Terra preview makes me feel like you low-key want to Terra the Decidueye, because you're like doing real
He
Terras
looks
for
like
everything.
he misdirected with the other ones, you know, usually you don't put Terra on them.
Like, the better way to doing this is just stellaring everything, so that maybe your opponent forgets
It's
that this guy can Terra.
disguised. Like nobody expects Terra Stellar.
Yeah.
Like other
It's
than
much
man.
like the Spanish Inquisition. But okay. Look at the game. Alright, Gyarados gonna lead off.
Blaziken
Nickname
looks like
Thanos.
a big threat to me.
Yeah, for sure. Terra Ground.
With the Terra Ground.
It'll get through the Tentacruel pretty easily, as well as, you know.
Pretty much only Latias resisting its like 3 moves.
And it does get knockoff access in this gen. So T-Wave on the Gyarados immediately gets the Terra on it as Choice Banded
my God.
Waterfall comes out. And
Looks to
Darkrai's
be
basically dead at that point. I mean, it's still alive, but, you know. So Darkrai can
much,
pack
yeah.
Thunder in this gen, does not have access to Thunderbolt, but
So Thunder, not Thunderbolt?
Thunder, not Thunderbolt, yes. And now Decidueye comes in on that, gets a Swords Dance off as Garchomp comes in, takes a Scale Shot. That's going to do not a whole lot of damage, and that defense drop means it's probably going to go down to this Decidueye. Yeah, Close Combat comes out, and Garchomp traded.
So you're right, the Decidueye did get a lot of progress here.
Yeah. But now, oh, the Custap.
Oh, and it's
Whoa!
Oh no!
Oh. Probably not,
Yeah,
right? Probably not, probably not, right? Probably.
He was saying after the game that he didn't realize he was in Custap range, sadly.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it was.
Look, it can
But,
happen to
yeah.
anyone.
Yep. Sometimes we just click Icy Wind for no
God
reason as well.
damn.
Like it can happen to anybody.
Holy shit. That could have been a dead Darkrai and then a sucker on something else. Oh.
Yeah, that would have been pretty powerful.
Yeah. Okay, dude.
To be fair,
Well-
though, he still got a whole Garchomp from a like 3-pointer, so he
Yeah.
did something.
Could have been so much more, though. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Tinglu able to revenge this, gets the rocks up, as Thanos comes in for another waterfall. Latias takes only 29%, so shrugging that off. And now Darkrai to come in on this, catches a T-Wave for its troubles.
Nice T-Wave.
Now Tinglu back in once again on the full para. And now catches a Focus Blast, only does 36%. Shout out to Tinglu. Ruination going to put it in Earthquake range, so Gyarados going to pivot in, expecting that Earthquake. Does get it correct, and now another Waterfall is coming. Or it could even go for a prediction on the Latias switch, but just going to do the safe progress Waterfall, get some guaranteed chip. And now Reflect comes up. Scarf Jirachi, it looks like, goes for the U-turn into Darkrai as catches the T-Wave. Okay, wastes a Reflect turn, but going to go down to a Dragon Pulse. And now what do? You go Jirachi again, goes for a Iron Head? You get a flinch here, it's nice. Oh. There's a flinch, so wastes some screen turns and weakens the Latias down very low. Is this Rocky Helmet Tinglu? No, it is not. And again, Gyarados can come in. This is something I actually quite like to do against Tinglu, like as an abuser. You have like some sort of like really heavy hitter that can just switch in on Ruination and Earthquake combination and not care. And Gyarados fits that quite perfectly. And you saw it's gotten off 3 Choice Banded Waterfalls, about to do another one. And you see Ruination, like a lot of Tinglu sets forego that like extra attack, so they can't actually kill.
Payback or whatever. Yeah.
The way of killing is Whirlwind in Rock's range, but at this point, I mean, Tinglu's dead for that. Now Trailblaze Meganium. Okay, everyone strap in. It's about to get serious. Swords Dance,
okay.
But it's T-Wave Goldango, so very much like a T-Wave spam angle. 3 T-Wave users, Goldango, Latias, and the Darkrai.
Good damage. Thing is though, this Blaziken is like looming, you know, like Latias is super low.
Especially with this Goldango taking this hit. Gets the T-Wave off though. Really big nice. Able to avoid the flinch, but yeah, it is slower. Okay, now we get the Reflect up, so it's setting up the end game for Darkrai, I guess. But I guess with the Reflect up, your Tentacruel lives the Blaziken hit. At least that's what you have to go for here. Hard Tentacruel on the Swords Dance start. And now Protect, waste Reflection. You can't Terra out of this water move. Could be a Pasho Berry though. Here's the Earthquake. It is Shuka Berry, lives that one, goes for the Surf, and it is Pasho Berry.
Oh yeah.
Would have lived anyways. 33% is really embarrassing from Tentacruel. Cannot lie.
Tentacruel is everything wrong with society. Yeah.
Right now, Darkrai comes in, goes for the Sucker Punch, not able to knock it out.
Oh,
Loki,
so without the Pasho, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, without the Pasho, Sucker into just Dark Pulsing the Jirachi could have done it.
But would have had to play mind games with like Protect and SD, but definitely doable.
And that's gonna be J-Scarf with the Blaziken sweep. Won't be the wasn't the first, won't be the last. And now we go into a deciding game 8, Harris versus 100p. You gotta give the advantage to 100p in this player matchup. I mean, he's had a rough season so far, but I mean, that's one of the best Switch players in the entire game. And so for a deciding game 8, I mean, Nature's Guardian's probably feeling pretty confident going into this one. Going up against this kind of like U-turn into breaker style. I feel like there's something important on the bench here. Yeah, there's a Rotom Wash on the bench. So you have a lot of breakers, not that many ways to get them in, but if Harris is able to play well, he does have a lot of firepower to break through this defensive core of Celesteela, Slowbro, even like the Whimsicott, you could throw that in there. But okay. Let's see. Let's just get into it. Deciding game 8. If Harris wins, they tie the week. If 100p wins, let Nature's Guardians take 2 points. Alright. Lycanroc gonna lead off into the Moltres. Moltres probably wants to get out of there. But probably just gonna be Rocks up. Yeah, Slowbro comes in on the Rocks. Gonna see Taunt immediately, preventing like a T-Wave or something. Teleport, sure. Now Torn comes in on the Scald. We're gonna see a burn? No burn. So a U-turn gets a little bit chip on Slowbro, but it is eject button. So Zeraora gonna come in for free on this Torn. We have a Nidoking though, so not the end of the world. Knockoff is gonna do so much damage. That's gotta be choice banded. Or I guess that's Life Orb Nidoking, so it's probably just offensive Nidoking then. But then, like, this Zera's gotta be really scary. You used your one-time switch in, now Moltres comes in, takes Rocks, and takes the Earth Power, no problem. Lycanroc comes in on the U-turn. Okay. Now Whimsicott able to force this out with the threat of Energy Ball, Giga Drain, stuff like that. Even a Leaf Storm I think it gets in this format, and Defog. Gonna get rid of those rocks, and then Stun Spores the Torn. This is really important. It's gonna cost his life.
Oh.
But the Torn is now slowed down. No longer able to like super threaten the entire team. Now Nihilego comes in, goes for the Stealth Rocks as Bronzong comes in. Potentially could see double rocks on this this build, but looks like the Bronzong with Flash Cannon could be Calm Mind, actually. Calm Mind Bronzong able to 1v1 the Slowbro, set up on the Nihilego, potentially take on the Flamethrower Celesteela as well. Pretty reasonable set, but like maybe, I don't know. Lycanroc's gonna come in. On the Fiery Rat, that should just kill. Yeah, down goes Lycanroc, and now Urshifu Rapid comes in, threatening a Surging Strike. So Slowbro's at full HP, so can just go to that. Calls that out with a U-turn, pretty safe switch, but now Guzzlord comes in, reveals Leftovers, and the Dark Resist is Moltres. It's a substitute Guzzlord. Catches the switch, and now what? We're gonna see a Nasty Plot. Definitely don't agree with the Nasty Plot play. The hell? That was strange. Gonna get punished with
Maybe
it by the
just
Dragon Tail.
Couldn't break it without. I don't know.
Maybe, but
Big damage.
definitely feels wrong, right? And then big
Yeah, now
Dark
this
Pulse.
Guzzlord's looking threatening as fuck.
Yeah, Dragon Tails the Zeraora as well. Gets the Nihilego in. Could be carrying Dazzling Gleam, so want to get out of there. Into the Bronzong, it's full HP. May as well just go to that. And we see the Misto Beam. Oh, the crit. Bronzong's going to take so much damage from this. And now Hex. That's going to put it in range. So, unfortunate crit. And now Guzzlord comes in later. We go for the raw Misto. But we're just going to get Dragon Tail. This feels like really misplayed around the Guzzlord. I cannot lie. And now Nidoking comes in trying to catch something. It's going to be an Outrage, but now we're locked into that. Urshifu definitely lives in Outrage from here.
Yeah,
And
you can get
it's
rid of
gonna be
this red
Scarf.
here.
Yeah, so we just guaranteed kill the Zeraora. And now what kills our Torn, Loki?
Not like what kills the Guzzlord too. Like, I think the Nihilego revealed like no Dazzling Gleam by Meteor
No
being
Dazzle
there,
and
so,
no
like,
Power Gem as well. Because you would have Power Gemmed or Sludge Waved the Guzzlord. What is this last move on Nihilego? It could be T-Spike. Could be Rocks. Oh, it is Rocks.
Yeah, and like
What's the
anytime
last?
you get Slowbro on the
T-Wave?
field in front of Guzzlord, you just get a free sub and like.
I feel like it's T-Wave last. Is that crazy? Because what else makes
Could be.
sense for the moves that you've
I mean,
clicked?
it has Hex. Yeah, it has Hex, so that makes sense.
T-Bolt or Psychic for Shifu? That's a good shout, yeah. Would also explain the clicks that have been made. Here's another Misto Beam. And misses! Oh no! Heatwave's gonna come out and burns the Celesteela with Life Orb Torn. Oh, that sucks. Air Slash is still gonna knock it out, but the Celesteela has to take that massive hit, and now it's gonna be in range of Urshifu.
Yeah.
Ah, that really sucks. And now it's Slowbro able to pivot in, but goes for the T-Punch crit! Okay, this is getting a little bit like a robbery, I'm not gonna lie. But then we switch Nihilego and get full parried.
And get parried. Yeah.
That didn't matter because we're Scarf or Shifu anyways.
Scarfed anyway, but pretty funny.
Felt like Moltres was the sack, no?
And then yeah, anytime the Slowbro doesn't pivot out, Guzzlord comes in and subs.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Steela comes in. Is this Guzzlord faster? That would be game winning. Oh, it doesn't break sub. Also game winning. Now we're gonna get that bees booze popping up in your town. Moltres
Yeah,
comes
very
in. It's gonna break
fortunate.
with Fiery Wrath, but goes for another
Very fortunate
sub.
Misto Beam dodge, because I think that Steela might have just like sealed the game.
Yeah, it definitely would have, right?
Yeah, because Torn would be dead, and then you tank at Urshifu, hit an Air Slash, and then
Yeah.
probably beat the Guzzlord. You're at like +3. at
High
that
key
point.
robbery, but hey, we take those.
The expensive players of the tour so far have been pretty cursed.
Yeah. You see 100p going, like, what, 0-3? Is that it?
I think
Let
1
me
and 2. Could
Can we
be wrong.
scroll down a little bit? Okay, yeah, 100p is, I think, 1 and 2. Is he? Where is he on this list? I don't see him on the standings. Am I just blind? I might be blind.
Is
Yeah,
it
he's 1 and
the
2. He's 1 and 2. I
Septile
see it.
special where you're so low that
No,
you're
no.
below the rest of the
I
board?
checked that actually. Panda is below the the standings
Oh,
because mid-season's added people. But okay, no, he's 1 and 2. Genius is 0 and 3. Yeah, pretty tough out here.
Yeah, there's no
iPro
chance of, like,
02.
these- Yeah, a lot of like top players this tour are getting like a bit unlucky in some games. Like I know Genius and WAP also had some.
Yeah,
pretty hectic
definitely some
games as well.
robberies. But okay, that's going to be the series. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, just because I have to go to the bathroom. But this will be the next matchup. If you want to talk about it, sure. If not, I'll just put up
Oh,
like a text thing that says BRB.
all right. You guys get to hear my waffling for a bit.
Here, let me... Is this, Okay. I'll put that on the screen. You can talk about this as much as you want. I'll be back.
Hi, viewers. I do not know too much about the Swish metagame, but I'll do my best. So we got an Aegis / Mirror. No, oh no, never mind. I would assume that Incineroar checks Aegis pretty well. We might see like a toxic Aegis from Iron Boulder's side. We see Archeops, which I haven't really seen much in the in the draft scene. I'm curious to see how that guy does because I don't remember what happens this game. What else is notable here? Pretty standard teams as far as I know. Other than that, we have a double Mew as well. Could be a multitude of sets on either of those guys. Same for Latias as well. Very useful commentary here. Kind of like, does Archeops get head smash? Maybe like head smash Earthquake could go pretty hard here. Maybe Stone Edge so you don't get yourself into defeatist range. Otherwise, I am not too sure what else to add to this. Maybe not a toxic Aegis with Tapu Fini on your team, but you can play around the Misty Terrain turns. To be honest, Cinderace looks like a pretty big threat here as well, like just spamming U-turn Pyroblast. Obviously you can catch like a static from Zapdos, but could be annoying for Genius X's side. If my waffling is too boring, I'm gonna link a live game that Genius X is currently playing for the viewers to watch in the meantime. I believe this is for World Cup of Pokemon. Genius X versus Ruffles. Gen 6 OU.
We are so back.
Oh, welcome back. I gave up on my useless waffling and just started playing cricket sounds.
Oh, nice. So who's winning? Tell me.
I'm thinking like Cinderace looks a bit annoying with like Powerball U-turn spam. There is a static Zapdos though, potentially. Maybe like a toxic Shadow Ball Aegislash could be annoying, like the Iron from Iron Boulder's side. He does have a Tapu Fini though, so not sure if we'll see the toxic. And then otherwise, yeah, I don't have much else to add here. A lot of like versatile mons on both sides. We have an Archeops, which I haven't really seen much of in draft.
Yeah, this has been a huge
Excited
power
to see how he does.
versus Slay the Spire are the team names. And let's just get right into it. Booyah. Fini's going to lead off into the Incineroar, threatening with a water move. Obviously, could be an Azumarill switch, and we see a Fake Out first, but sure. Could be a Mew switch in as well. We see Protect. Scouts out the Trick, actually. Really important detail. And now you can just stay in.
Trick now.
Get these Scarf on Incineroar. Honestly, not the end of the world. And then now Mew's able to come in, not have to fear that Trick Scarf anymore. Now Power Whip's going to be big damage on the Fini. Is a 2-hit KO, as now Mew's going to come in to answer the Mew, but Stealth Rock goes up. And a knockoff on opposing Mew gets rid of the leftovers as rocks are traded. But now a switch to Aegislash is going to cover the healing from Iron Boulders, and now Aegislash is in position with rocks up. Going to take a knock, so both Mew sets pretty similar, but here a Toxic comes out, puts this Mew on a timer. Pretty confident that the Fini's not going to come in on that turn, and now U-turn, so full set is revealed. Sure, now Fini does come in on the next Toxic, okay. Zapdos is going to be the response to Fini. Probably can just roost off this Nature's Madness pretty comfortably. Importantly, reveals no boots. So it's going to be Light Clay actually, so no recovery it seems. So Reflect up. Probably going to see Light Screen. Now we're going to see Hurricane, okay. The Reflect, Light Screen, Volt Switch, Hurricane, probably going to be the set, and Zapdos is basically dead at this point with rocks up.
A lot of damage on the Aegislash though.
Oh, and the Brick Break, he's prepared.
Wow.
Now Fini's going to come in, but it's going to be a knockoff, and Fini's going to live the next one. You have to assume Incineroar is just going to get sacked off here, and it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to Incineroar. This is like definitely VGC for sure. Now Azu comes in, and this is interesting because Azu is threatening a Belly Drum, which does look like it might just win the game if Toxic allows it. Like, what is the response to Belly Drum Azumarill here? I mean, we might just see it clicked here. Here's a Nature's Madness. No Citrus Berry. Oh, imagine a Belly Drum there. It's leftovers Azumarill, so yeah.
To be honest, still a threat at +1 here.
It is, yeah. You have the power of Choice Banded Azumarill, but you don't have to lock your move, and you're getting leftovers the whole time. This is still a great position for Genius with the Azumarill. Now Crocodile's going to come in, Intimidate's going to nullify that Power Up Punch. And Earthquake is going to do a lot of damage. Going to trade off your Crocodile for it, but at least you're not getting swept, right? Now Aegislash in. Zapdos just going to get sacked off, no problem. But I'm also wondering if this Latios has Healing Wish, bring this Azumarill back, that could be a really great endgame for Genius. Because Mew definitely can't beat it. Archeops can't beat it, and Cinderace just got Toxiced. And it looks like there's going to be no Healing Wish. So unfortunately, this Azu is
Toxic, but it looks like it might like win pretty soon.
Yeah, you have to assume this is King Shield though, so you're able to kind of stall out some Toxic turns, put it in range of Aqua Jet. So at the end of the day, you're not going to get swept by it, but still, this Azumarill is looking fantastic. Like the Aqua Jet into both these guys, really lethal. But the Earthquake knocks out Aegislash. Is that like Choice Banded Archeops? I don't know. Here's the Aqua Jet, knocks out the Archeops, and now it's Cinderace versus the world. But it is Sucker Punch, and it is going to knock out the Azu from that range. And Mew, I don't think, can take a Pyro Ball from 38. And it can't.
Wow, close game.
Really close one, yeah. Really felt like Azumarill could have had that game at multiple points, but No Healing Wish, no Belly Drum, just a lack of things on Genius's team that would allow it to win. And that's going to be game 1 going to huge power. We go on to game 2. This is going to be Count Riario versus Panda. All right, this is Usum. Benches are like pretty normal-ish. Yeah, there's a Crobat on Riario's side, but Crobat not super great into the Jirachis, Landorus sort of thing. Like, you could take Earth Powers, but Psychic is just going to blow you up. So, may as well pack something like the Cresselia, or even just pack the Lantern to help into that Jirachi, Starmie, and the Togekiss. Makes sense. Get the game. So Latios going to lead off into the Landorus, threatening an Ice Beam. Going to have to get out of there into the Jirachi as the Ice Beam does come out, but that damage reveals, excuse me, a pretty bulky Jirachi, and we see a Doom Desire trying to set up what? What's the idea here? So Heatran, you know, is going to come in on Jirachi, so you set the Doom Desire and then pivot to Starmie, I suppose? But Doom Desire doesn't really help Starmie that much, because Latios and Lantern are still totally fine coming in with the Doom Desire up. Maybe Latios not, but Lantern definitely can. So interesting.
Maybe he goes like Landorus and U-turns? Nah, you take a lot from the
Yeah,
final.
here's the spin, and this Doom Desire is going to do over under 7%. What do you think?
I'm going for like 6.
We got the under. Anyone else in chat want to take the over-under on 7% on this Doom Desire? It's a pretty strong move, but that's a defensive Jirachi. Looks to be a bulky Heatran. 4 times resist. What do we think? I'm going to guess 9%. I'm going to guess 9. Let's see. You guess 6, I guess 9.
You are closer.
Too tough. Right. But Starmie can just recover this off, I guess. Dark Pulse is doing too much damage. Goes for the Hydro Pump, but it's Pasha Berry, so it's never forced out in the first part.
To 78.
Yeah, that's crazy rolls. Yeah. And here's the Lopunny coming out, but we have a Cresselia. What are we power punching for? You're just gonna get helmeted. We don't have helmet on Cresselia. That's interesting. Still, even at +1, Cresselia is so bulky. Gets the T-Wave off. Nothing could really come in on that as well. And get the Moonlight, fishing for a full para, and there it is. And now we can just Moonblast for a 3 KO. Like, Crest is definitely not strong, but it's very bulky. Alright, there's another Moonblast. A return will bring Cresselia down low a little bit, but you could Moonlight fishing for a full para, and that's exactly what it's going to do. And he just switches out, so Lopunny basically dead for nothing, and Jirachi's slower than Cresselia takes a T-Wave? Alright, I mean, how are we killing this Crest? Nasty Plot Togekiss, okay, but it's going to get T-Waved. Interesting to note, the speed order is Togekiss, Cresselia, and Jirachi, completely opposite from their base stats.
So somehow Cresselia is faster than Jirachi, but slower than Togekiss.
It's probably just minus speed Jirachi to get slow U-turns. That makes sense. But here, Mawil's going to come in on the Dazzling. He takes 71.
Oh my God
damn. But does find its way on the field.
How not bulky this guy is pre-mega.
Yeah, especially pre-mega. And here, Ironhead into Rocky Helmet Landers, the SV Special, going to come into effect in Usum and trade 1-for-1 with this Mawile while setting rocks. So fair enough, but still, the problem with this Cresselia is imminent. Heatran's going to come in on this Togekiss, full para, so we'll never know. But now rocks are going to be traded as Hidden Power Ground comes out. Crit did not matter. But now Latios can come in and can't just Ice Beam, as Togekiss doesn't take a whole lot from that. Doesn't get the Dazzling Gleam off though, and a critical hit. That is an unlucky sequence from Panda. Such is life, he says. This is so sad. Now Kyurem comes in, definitely telegraphing Scarf, but do you really want to switch into your Lantern there? Maybe not. Just sack the Latios. Like, Latios is not super useful if the Kyurem is Scarf, which it reveals to be there. Because you have like a Lopunny that beats nothing, and a Jirachi that beats the Latios. So, Lati not super useful here. Just get the free switch to Cresselia. And now what? You go for a Moonblast to get some chip on the Jirachi, I would guess? No, a double to Crocodile. Really aggressive play. Catches the Jirachi. It's going to speed up this endgame significantly. Because now Knockoff should just be a kill. Or Earthquake. Either one. Here's the Earthquake. See Protect Jirachi, but yeah, this should just be a KO. Force the Kyurem Black to come into Revenge, but you have that Lantern switch, and you can even switch to Cresselia if you want to. Lantern is going to come in.
Up, it's,
Yeah, look. Oh, the freeze. Is this packing Scald? Scald does thaw you. Looks like it's not packing Scald.
Oh.
Full para, freeze.
Oh, another
Wish
one?
in the air. If you get a wish into the air as Kyurem comes in, that could be pretty nice. Get a U-turn off here.
We made it
Off. Full para. So Cresselia's in versus Jirachi, but this is Wish Tech Jirachi. Cresselia will never break through this. So you need to find a turn to get your Crocodile in. But this U-turn gonna mean Kyurem Black comes in one more time. Has one more rock switch in after this. But Lantern can come in, even if you like go for a move like that, like Outrage. Yeah, Outrage is gonna lock you in, and now Cresselia can just Moonblast, and then Crook will beat the Jirachi last one. Yeah, 32. Ridiculous.
Leave that at 34, the Cresselia.
Mm-hmm. And now all you have to do is sack your Cresselia. You don't really want to go hard Crocodile because you can get like U-turn crit. Basically, Panda has a little mini game where he wants to get Doom Desire up as the Cresselia goes down, so he can protect. Crocodile takes a Doom Desire. But the problem is these Moonblast drops means the Doom Desire is going to do very little damage. So we can skip through this a little bit. Okay, this was interesting. We go hard Crocodile, which I think is probably a mistake on the Doom Desire though, and not going to stay in, just going to go back to Cresselia. Don't want to play around with anything like U-turn into Doom Desire crit. What's the last move on Cresselia? Hard to say. If it's Lunar Dance, we would have clicked it an hour ago. Okay, Fish Fury Moonblast drops. It's Ice Beam. Okay, makes sense. We're just going to sack off our Cresselia. At least try to. Start struggling. Start struggling. Come on. Alright, there's the last Moonlight. And now we have Struggle. Now basically, Panda needs to get a Doom Desire up as this Cresselia goes down, so it hits on the turn Crocodile comes in. And then you have the opportunity to crit it through the special attack drops. So you need to Doom Desire this turn. This turn would do it. Oh, but we get full para'd, unfortunately. But it's okay, we can still go for it. Just means we have to hit a Protect through para. We go for Wish, which is definitely wrong. Definitely need to get a Doom Desire in the air. Although maybe you're just cooked no matter what. If you Protect, you're back at full HP, you'll take one Earthquake. Because without the Wish you would have died, so maybe it's understandable. Yeah, but he's not going to get the crit on U-turn. That's going to be the game. Count Riario ends up with the win. So that's 2-0 for Huge Power as we go on to game 3. It's going to be Yurdunk versus Volti Pichu. Got an Urshifu Mirror. Let's see. These are both single strike Urshifus. Interesting enough.
If you want to, you can swap them sides if you want to keep the Huge Power.
True. Alright. And yeah, this is the Terap Aloe with the bundle. You know, that fast Encore plus the Aloe Wish Pass. It's a pretty strong defensive core.
Yo, Sandy Shocks randomly has like a really cool looking matchup here, actually.
Yeah, it does. And Sandy Shocks is also a Terra Pokemon. It is Terra Fairy. If you ever need that Urshifu Resist or Terra Blast coverage, it is available. And Voltipichu's Urshifu is Terra Dark, so that Terra Blast would hit its mark if you wanted to go for it. But again, like that Terra Electric Torn is also looking quite nice. Able to check that Zapdos forever. So we'll see which route Yurdunk decides to go for. Let's get into the game. On the other side, it's going to be Fairy, Aloe, and Dark Urshifu. The Zapdos leads off into the Torrent. Very clear Terra Electric opportunity there, so just goes for it. Gonna knock off the Claude Helmet. And it's actually Leftovers Torn, which is interesting. Gonna taunt the Claude, prevent any rocks or toxic, anything of that sort. Now you get a U-turn into Bramblegast or Dragonite. And it's gonna be Dragonite on the Earthquake. So threatening out this Clodsire. We're gonna see a double to Sandy Shocks, catches the Alomomola, Really nice play, and we're gonna see the Aloe Terra.
Terra the Aloe. Okay.
This is so that you never have to sack for the opposing Urshifu single strike, but it's a big commitment to make.
It's also
your
nice
own
for the
Urshifu
B-Knight
doesn't have that
against-
boost. Yeah, it is. You get that boost on Play Rough or Luring Voice. Now Bundle comes in, but Pheasantipity able to take that reasonably. It looks to be specially defensive Fez versus maybe a Specs Bundle. I'm not really too sure on the damage calcs there. But now Claude's going to come in on the Forced Roost. And now a U-turn. Claude should be able to get its rocks here as Bramble comes in, threatening a spin. Gonna just go for it. Nothing really stopping the spin there as Claude recovers all the way back up. Goes for Power Whip, is going to miss, and that's going to be a Toxic. Put this Bramblegast on a timer, and now you can't really maintain the spin, so rocks would be in order. But we go for a block, and Zapdos is going to be switched in, so really interesting there. We're going to see a Brave Bird trying to get around that Wind Rider ability, but Torn going to come in, get the knockoff on the boots in exchange for a U-turn momentum. Now Claude's in, can go for an Earthquake here. We're going to see a U-turn into Bramblegast. There is the Earthquake, but Claude should be able to just set up rocks on this at this point.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not rocking on this. Maybe it takes too much from Power Whip or something?
Maybe, yeah. Well, Bramble's getting quite low, and Aloe kind of absorbs that with its regen, able to flip turn on the Torn. And now Claude's back in, so Claude applying a lot of pressure this game. At this point, kind of forced to taunt and then go D-Knight. You don't have another super great play, and you have to taunt because otherwise you go D-Knight and next turn's just going to be a Toxic. Or just a switch to Aloe. Like, how do you break this Aloe Claude core? Here comes Fez, but again, you just have that Clodsire able to switch in. Something worth noting is like
Sandy
Recover
Shocks.
is limited PP, but now Sandy Shock's in. Zapdos can be forced in on the Earth Power. So it gets that play right. But now Gravity comes out, and this next Earth Power is going to be lethal. Or it's going to force the Shell Break on Tarap. It takes 75 on the Zap, but that's going to be Rock's range. You don't have removal outside of Tarap. But there is a Bramblegast to spin block at least one time. So it depends what Yurdung wants to do. Goes for a Volt Switch, going to break the Shell. Do we go Bramblegast to block the spin? We're going to go Fez. So you're not spinning when I have a Bramblegast in the back. He's going to get that right. And now probably just going to get, yeah, the spin next turn. As Gunk Shot comes out, get some good chip on the Tarap and a Poison crucially. So now next time rocks go up, which Sandy Shock should be able to do. Even right now if you want to. You can go to it. Threatening the Earth Power as Urshifu comes in, but you use that as the opportunity to get rocks up, and now Zapdos is dead. A Scarf Urshifu goes for the Ice Punch, not going to KO. And you just go for a Volt Switch into the Torn, get that regen up. And should just be a free U-turn with this Torn. Goes for it, but it's going to be the Zapdos sack. No problem. Get that leftovers. Now bundle in. Fez is in 2-hit KO range potentially, so we're going to use our Bramblegast sack to allow the free switch into Torn with regen. And now you're threatening the Terra Blast coverage. Gonna go for a knock, potentially removing the item.
He's really poked a hole into the opposing team now too. Like he's not really stuck in that sequence with Aloe Claude anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's making progress.
Now that being said, this Shocks is low HP now, so it's going to be a little bit hard to make further progress with that. Now a taunt comes out on this Aloe, but we're just going to see a flip turn, get that regen. Now Claude once again back in on the Electric Torn. We're going to see a U-turn probably to that Dragonite. There it is. Do we see a Toxic here? Oh, we see it. The recovery was getting low. Makes sense. Now a double to Fez. Catches the Aloe, and now you get Rocks and U-turn chip on the Clodsire. So this is pretty good. Now you go Torn. I don't love the Torn here. It feels like you just have to take an Earthquake for very little reward. Now back to the Aloe. It's already knocked off, so you can't kind of just
To be
use
honest
it.
though, Voltipitchu's also not really making progress, like with the Torn just regenning everything back up.
If you were able to set rocks at any point, like this Claude does have rocks. There's another taunt. It tries to set rocks, but not going to work out there. Now Aloe in on the U-turn. And Fez for another fish. Oh,
I think when the
stays
torn is
in.
at full, it's always gonna taunt. So you
Okay,
should
but now you
EQ
get the
on full
Clodsire
turns.
rocks, right? So a calculated risk. Voltipichu says, "You can go for the poison on Aloe, but I will get my Claude and I will
Oh.
rock." But it's another taunt user.
Another taunt.
So it reveals the 4th move taunt, and that's going to be a major problem for Voltipichu. Because you really need rocks up to make progress versus this team. Like, Yurdunk is just dancing around here, and with the Clodsire taunted, it's always a safe Dragonite, and then the double back to Fez catches the Aloe. Probably another Gunk Shot is coming. Goes for the U-turn. Do we see a poison? We do see a poison proc, although not the end of the world. Aloe usually does just regen off quite quickly. So Wish in the air. We go Terapagos. Gonna bring that up all the way back up to full, and now a spin is in order. Here's a knockout, gets rid of the boost, but with the spin, you totally take that trade. And now Voltipichu just needs to find a way to get rocks up. We're gonna sack our Terapagos, so not quite a sack, but definitely very low. As our Shifu comes in, we just have the Aloe though for this situation. There's a U-turn into the Fez, and now it's like, what do we do versus Fez long term? We're gonna go Claude, which is fine. Another Gunk Shot PP taken, another taunt. Do we Earthquake here? We do Earthquake. So Fez takes big chip out of this. And gonna Roost, waste some Earthquake PP. Eventually this taunt's gonna run out. Yeah, you have to U-turn eventually. And it's gonna be to Dragonite, but now the taunt wears off. But Dragonite's threatening a KO on this with Earthquake, so it's gonna switch out to Aloe. Another switch to Fez, but probably just flip turn here. And Fez is half out of its Roost. You see a Wish in the air. And now a flip turn, probably back to Terapagos, maybe Bundle. Yeah, Bundle gets its HP back, but I don't know how impactful that is. I guess Fez can't hurt it. So now that you know that, you can just go for these Hydro Pumps. Now Dragonite comes. I probably would have gone for an Ice Beam there. Like, Ice Beam felt like zero risk. And now Dragonite's able to set up on Hydro Pump lock. You see
I
a
don't
play
think this
rough.
Aloe can get through it even with the
21?
Terra.
It's like Fizdef Dragonite or something. Wish in the air, but I don't think that's going to do anything. This Dragonite looking to sweep the game. Going to go hard Clodsire on the Earthquake. That's going to be no good. Aloe gets the regen, but even without multi-scale, this is only doing like 42%. Goes for the Healing Wish to get your shell back, but at this point Dragonite has its multi-scale. You're not able to kill it with even an Ice Beam. Goes for the Ice Beam, 51%. Gets the freeze. Okay, so there is still a shot. Goes for another Ice Beam. Probably could have Starstormed there in that position. Like, you need something to go your way, but now gonna have to sack.
Scarf, maybe Bundle. Actually, nah, Torn still lives. Yeah,
now the opposing Shifu comes in, forces it out. You turn to Bundle. And the Shifu comes in, definitely going to be Choice Scarf here. Yeah. And that's going to be checkmate. Alright, so Yurdunk going to help his team come back a little bit in the series. It's now 2-1. Still in favor of Huge Power, but Slay the Spiker are starting to come back into it. Now we have Hunter versus Zev.
Oh, this is the game we were thinking about earlier.
Yes. Alright, so SV, we got Terra Zarude up against this Terra Gliscor team. And you see this Gliscor is Terra Fire, which is interesting. It's able to check things like the Cinderace as well as the Zarude dual stab once you get knocked. But also this does open you up. It opens you up into the Glimmora a little bit, but maybe that's not the end of the world when you do have a Ticketon right there. So maybe it's okay. You do have Palafin, which looks like Zev is going to be a little bit annoyed by. You do have the ice coverage for the Mence, and the Zarude is going to be Terra Grass. Man, Cloud is decent. It's just so hard to fit what you want. Had decent potential that game, but it just gets stuffed by taunt almost completely. Yeah, it's like the combination of Earthquake Toxic is annoying, right? But you can get around it. It just forces some prep, I think. But okay, this game now, let's get into it.
What does Terra Grass do this game?
Checks the Palafin. You like really need it on a team like this. Okay, Ment's gonna lead off up against the Gliscor. Probably just protect to get your Toxcorp activated. Salmons could take advantage of that. Goes for a Dragon Dance. Does take advantage. And now it's going to be a Deoxys speed switch in, which is faster than +1 Mence, but goes for +2 is the Scarf Deoxys. It is Scarf Deoxys, but goes for a trick rather than an Ice Beam or anything like that. Feels definitely strange.
80.
Yeah.
He scouted the Yachi Berry. You saw it in chat.
Yeah, it was Yachi, so Ice Beam wouldn't have killed. So maybe it was correct, but at the end of the day, Mandibuzz able to...
Another 60 on the Mandibuzz.
Yeah. Oh,
Without
that is...
losing anything, really.
That looks like a
my
Specs
God.
Crown. But Glimmora comes in, gonna force out this Gliscor, probably get up rocks. Doesn't get up rocks. Just gonna Power Gem, make the safe play.
Trying to
And
break the air balloon.
Gigaton Hammer's gonna bring this Glimmora quite low. Okay, red card's out into Mandibuzz, and now double hazards are up.
Ooh, no
Back to the
defog.
Tinkaton on the Power Gem. We know we're faster, so can just go for a Gigaton Hammer or just get up rocks, that's fine too. Now a T-Wave on the Iron Crown was just slower than Tinkaton for some reason.
No. Also, no more electric resist on this Specs Bull Switch Crown is pretty good for Zev.
Yeah, you tear it out of your
It
ground
did
type.
50. It did 50 to the Gliscor, who's now Rocks weak as well. So like, it's like low-key a kill.
Yeah,
Next time it
Mandibuzz
clicks it.
can roost on this because it is now parried. Now a taunt comes out from the Zarude on the defog. Could have been a U-turn there. Could have been big damage. Now you go for U-turn, but after the bulk up only does 24.
Gotta
But
be Encore
Valiant,
Val for this.
Valiant comes in. I mean, just yeah, gonna Terra Grass, but you have Poison Jab.
Okay.
Does some decent damage, but Petal Blizzard gonna kill Valiant very easily from that range. Now Palafin comes in baby form. For this to make sense, it probably has to be Choice Scarf Palafin, or you're just saying, hey, I'll lose as fuck. Okay, but if you are Scarf, you can take the Latios here, but just gonna take the form as Healing Wish comes out. Now Zaru's gonna be backed up to full. This feels really
Can
easily
we just
won.
pause here?
Yeah, pause
Like,
there.
look at this game state. We got the no unresisted Specs Crown. We got full HP plus 1/1 Zarude. We have full HP Mence, full HP Cinderace. Like double hazards up. Like this looks like a very dominant position.
Many are saying this, yeah. But here's a U-turn. Doesn't go for the Whirlwind, expecting a taunt. Now Gliscor comes in. You're already +1 defense. Can just taunt this, prevent any like toxic, which he does go for. But here another bulk up is in order. Gets that extra defense, and now Palafin, even if it's Scarf, can't really break through the Zarude at all. Is Scarf, goes for the Ice Punch, but again, thanks to that +2, really not a problem. And now Mandibuzz back in, but reveals Synthesis on the Zarude. And again,
has
no
healing,
Whirlwind. At this point, Zev just gonna wrap up this game very comfortably. Because we're Protect, get some Toxic Heal, no problem. But really, this one feels completely over. As Gliscor takes 41% from that.
So
But gets
what
the
is
Toxic
the only
off.
way you can lose this
Hey,
game?
chill,
as
chill,
Zev?
chill. Well, just let it happen, let it happen. Alright, Earthquakes on the Synthesis. Okay. Protects on the Petal Blizzard. Alright. What more you got? Sacks Mandibuzz on the Petal Blizzard. Allows the Toxic to rack up. Doesn't take the Mandibuzz KO.
Now it's back to full.
Allows the Defog. Gets full parried. Now Volt switches out into Glimmora. Gets Whirlwinded. That's fine. Now Mence in. Gonna go for an Outrage. But Gliscor comes in at 58%. Goes for Protect. And this is gonna end the Outrage. Looks like Zev pulled a 3-turn Outrage, which means he's not gonna get fully confused on the Protect. And now he's free to click another move. It's gonna be Outrage again. That's 49% as a Toxic comes out. And Toxic should just 2-hit KO even after Protect. But here, Zev pulls a 2-turn Outrage, which means if you get a 2-turn Outrage and you hit the second one on Protect, you do get confused. So there's a chance.
Oh, we hit
Okay.
ourselves.
Gliscor getting a little bit of
And
Toxic
now-
heal back, now Protects.
Let's score out of range as well.
Mm-hmm. May as well go for a triple Protect. Gets the triple Protect on the Mence. Alright. Iron Crown comes in. Just gets Earthquake twice. And full parried.
Yeah.
Goes down to the
Dude,
next
Specs
Earthquake.
Volt Switch did like 50 earlier to this, right?
Mhm.
Specs
Yeah.
Psychic move might have just one shot.
You go for double edge on Cinderace, does 40%. And this Earthquake's a 2-hit KO. Do we see a Swords Dance
now-
here? We do not see a Swords Dance.
The writing is on the
But
wall.
no Protect anyways. Surely this Glimmora can just come in and Power Gem this though, right? Like, surely. Goes for the U-turn, a little bit of extra chip. Bulking up. Another Earthquake. A little bit of a crit there.
Desperation has set in.
Yeah. Here's that Petal Blizzard, only 30%. And Zaru's gonna go down to the Toxic. Now, the question is Glimmora faster than this Gliscor? Even after all of that, and
So
it is
super
slower.
stuff. Yeah.
So,
What a game.
yeah, this might be game of the season.
Reverse.
Why was
like,
Salamence intimidated?
I mean,
Yeah,
that wasn't really the problem.
I don't think that was the
No,
problem
that's
at
not
all.
the only problem. No, I don't think that's the problem. But like, if it's Moxie, it also won. So like,
Well, the idea
why
is
it
your
intimidated?
lead Salamence expecting like a baby Palafin lead, and so your Yachi Intimidate to kind of counteract that Ice Punch if it wants to stay in at lead, and if not, you get the free Dragon Dance as it switches out, and you get potentially another Dragon Dance, which you saw is exactly what happened in the game. It got 2 Dragon Dances at lead thanks to the Intimidate helping it set up. So like, it's good, you know? Like, I totally get it.
Okay.
However, no, Gliscor is not getting a 2-point bump for this performance. If anything, Zev is getting a minus 5k from his his auction price. You know what I mean?
We're price tanking. Yeah.
This is actually price tanking behavior,
He's just price tagging for DCL.
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
truly. And so that's gonna be what, 3-1 in the series now for Huge Power. Definitely, this one was within Slay the Spiker's reach, but alas. And now we have Impulse versus Sablo.
Ooh,
Alright.
known band player Sablo.
Which okay, we are in this position, I think. Yeah. So Sablo going to be on Huge Power, and then the Scarcity is
Oh, wait.
Impulse on Slay the Spiker.
We got another Blaziken Gyarados team.
Another Amazikin.
I didn't know there
Yeah,
were 2 of them.
There are
Yeah.
2. Yep. Oh, it is so hot in my room right now for no reason. Shout out Summer. Can you see how sweaty I am in the cam? A little bit of slick. They're getting paid 1.5 to draft Zev now. I think it might be back to DFL for the guy, unfortunately, because that was embarrassing. But yeah, that was tough. All right, Sablo versus Impulse. We look at this one. We see the Amazikin, but we also see Great Tusk, Screamtail, Toxapex, Raging Bull, all these natural counters to Blaziken. So if he's able to get a Blaziken sweep, it's gonna be tricky. Terra Electric deals with the Toxapex problem as well as the Screamtail problem, but still, Raging Bolt should be able to take one, Draco back. Great Tusk obviously able to take one and just Headlong Rush. You don't have Great Tusk answers. I guess you have Latios Gira is close enough, and like Balloon Petch, sure, reasonable. The Gyarados is also Terra Electric, so double Terra Electric is interesting. Makes sense on the Corv, Pex, and the Screamtail. We brought a very similar Terra Electric WinCon when we played this team. Yeah. Other sides, Terra's is Ghost on the Raging Bolt and Ghost on the Pex, looks like. Yep. And again, we're benching the Scovillain. Look at Scovillain here. It's so good. Why are we benching Scovillain?
Heresy.
The Screamtail leads off into the Darkrai. Just gonna stay in. Probably go for wait. The Screamtail went for trick. I thought the Darkrai was tricking that. No. Screamtail goes for the trick onto Darkrai, locks it into knockoff. Darkrai reveals Citrus Berry, which means it's probably a Wisp variant, or Nasty Plot Bulky. But here rocks go up as Iron Tress comes in. Gonna be able to spin here if he wants to, because the Raging Bolt is not a Ghost type yet, but instead gonna just trade rocks and Volt Switch, so probably doesn't have spin in this matchup. But Corv just gonna defog, so very much a nothing burger first 2 turns, and now Nasty Plot Petra able to set up in front of the Corviknight. Now Raging Bolt comes in. It is gonna be booster special attack, so gets that Terra Ghost. Is gonna resist the Malignant Chain, but a poison is possible. There's the poison. Do we get the full confusion? we do get the full confusion. That's around about a 10% chance for that to happen, but Imble's going to take that to the bank. Now Raging Bolt is going to have to get out of there, as Shadow Ball will knock it out at +2. It's just going to be a Corviknight sack. I guess we just have to sack a Pokemon thanks to that unfortunate full confuse. Now we get Weavile in, but this could very easily be Colbur Berry. We have Beat Up to get around the Colbur Berry, but does Beat Up even kill? It doesn't kill, even with a crit in there.
Not.
And Weavile goes down. Petron
And
going
another one
crazy
down.
in this game. Great Tusk comes in, able to knock it out. Gets rid of the Shuka Berry, so... Shuka aimed at trading for the Treads, but... Yeah, now Blaziken's going to come in, goes for the Swords Dance. And Pex comes in, but this is Terra Electric. Doesn't choose to go for Terra Electric, and... Is it going to be a Pain Split? Definitely raises some eyebrows there. Yeah, the next Earthquake's just going to knock it out. Definitely, not the best sequence there, but now
Wait,
Great Tusk
Blaziken's
should be able to
Terra
live.
Electric? Why did it force out the Tusk?
I don't know.
Bro,
I just work here. Why did that kill?
Yeah, because
bro, is that?
and why did it
minus-
swap
minus
out
defense?
initially?
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean,
I feel like this got to
maybe
be like
sticking
charcoal or
Grass Knot
something.
I don't know.
There's no way you have like a Great Tusk and you're not EVing for +2 Blaziken in this matchup. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Blaze.
Oh, maybe it's like scarfed or something. Maybe it's scarfed and that's why he was forced out or something.
Maybe you would find that out
That's
if you
possible.
were max speed
And that's
Petronet.
why he's like not bulky.
Oh,
If it was max speed Petronet, you would know that it's Scarf
Big Kelp
from
is-
the knockoff being faster.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
how
it
he
is.
SD'd
It's
for
adamant
free, and
charcoal
then,
to
like,
get that
one-shot
roll. That's insane.
it. Wow.
So
Yeah,
knocks
okay.
that out.
It's gotta be scarf to
Now Raging Bolt
Explain all
threatening
that.
the Thunderclap, but that's why you have the Terra Electric. Goes for the Flare Blitz, knocks this out. Should die to recoil, but now it's a 4v1 and the one is a Scream Tail versus
you gotta
Iron
hope
Treads.
that
Yeah,
your
you're
team can beat
rocks up
Scream
for the
Tail.
road, and that's gonna be the game.
And
Impulse
there we go.
pulls out a win there, and that's gonna come pretty close to evening up the series. It's now at 3-2, still in favor of Huge Power, but they're fighting back.
3-2 now, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Scarf Tusk. That's the only way that sequence makes sense ever. Okay, now we have Ace Trainer Josh versus Luxance. Joshua Watts, you know, all of that. Right, Oras game. Okay, interesting benches. Yeah, that's what we were saying. Hey, Crick. So Victini and Metagross bench for Lux. I mean, makes sense into the Sand matchup that your Victini's benched, but Metagross definitely looks usable here. Instead, we're going to be bringing stuff like the Florges, Electros. Electros for the Torn makes sense. Okay. Is this a Mega Heracross? This is a Mega Heracross, okay. Alright, let's get into the game. Oh, what's the Mega on Josh's team? Is Garchomp? Yeah, it is Garchomp. So Sand boosted Mega Garchomp, definitely a strong breaker. Two really strong breaker Megas here. And we're going to knock off the choice specs from Florges immediately? Whoa. Coming out swinging, are we? Gonna get rid of that specs, and now pretty safe to go Excadrill on this thing. I'm gonna say U-turn, probably to Exca or Uxie. It's just gonna be Drill, no problem. We see an HP Fire catching that.
Who
Could be
catches
HP
it?
Ground as well. But yeah, we assume maybe HP Fighting. I don't know. Something super effective. Now Uxie pivots in. It's actually Scarf Ice Punch. But it's gonna be Imprison Lando, aimed at like locking the rocks.
Or rocks.
And, like,
probably.
HP Ice,
Rocks and
maybe?
maybe HP Ice, yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna get rocks up and some helmet, and now gets the eject button into the wait a minute. This is not Scarf Uxie. It's just
Oh.
faster. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
Pokélando. No way it does 38, right?
Yeah, shout out to SV, man. We'd be bringing this in every gen now. But now Heracross comes in and Uxie misses a Zen Headbutt, unfortunately, and it's just gonna go down to Pin Missile. And now what is revenging this Heracross? It's gonna be Torn, obviously, but you still have that Electros at high HP, so a U-turn is in order. Gonna U-turn to the Chomp. Chomp doesn't kill the Electros, but if you take Chip on this, then Torn becomes a demon. Gonna stay in and trade HP with the HP Ice, but Rocks go up instead. Now Outrage comes out, it does KO the Electros. Didn't expect that. But now you're locked in. Florges will take the guaranteed revenge. And that's going to be 4 to 5.
Torn
but
pretty opened up though with these rocks.
yeah, it does feel like Josh is in a commanding position. Just going to sack, not quite a sack actually. Lando comes in on the Earthquake, and now Torn has to come in. Do we see a Rock Slide? No Rock Slide.
Ooh.
Could have been a big play there, but Knockoff going to get rid of the Lando now. And Weavile possibly threatening a pursuit trap on this Torn. Doesn't go for it. Keldeo comes in on the return. So Choice Banded
Oh my
return
God.
is going to
Ended
2-KO.
return.
But now you have a free T-Tar switch in. But a double to Tentacruel, it feels like we're expecting the Keldeo to be Scarf there from that play. And to be fair, it was Scarf Keldeo, right? Yeah, it switched before the Weavile. So
Yeah.
Josh just one step ahead, catches that with the T-Tar. And now goes for an Earthquake as the Heracross comes in. But now Torn comes in. Do we see a Rock Blast? We do not. No predictions made
wait,
ever.
Anyway.
Oh, and Citrus, yeah.
Yeah, J. Ricky gonna save the Tornadus, keep it high HP. Now allowing that Torn in for
Yeah, then
free is gonna
now-
have big consequences. Yeah, Florges just
Yeah,
goes
this
down.
drill looks very scary now as well.
Yeah, drill.
With the sand up.
Feels like you just need to reset the sand and then you're basically there. Choice Banded Icicle Crash is gonna knock out the Keldeo, but sand goes down. Gonna reset it with the T-Tar right now. Honestly, you could even go for a pursuit here if you wanted to. Although I guess there's no reason to. You could just attack. Now Heracross in. Just sack your T-Tar at this point. Go drill maybe? Or maybe you go Torn. Yeah, Torn is actually also checkmate with acrobatics.
Yeah, they both just seem like they win, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you still have the sand turns, so if Tentacruel lives this and goes for an Ice Beam, knocks out the Torn, you still have that drill in the back. Yeah, it gets a crit,
Yep.
but you still have that sand drill, and there's no way Tentacruel can get out of this one. Unless it's like Protect. Protect would do it actually. Waste the sand turn, but we just don't have it. And that's going to be the game. Josh taking his team up 4-2. So pretty good for Huge Power. Looking for one more game to win the week. Now we have iPro versus Logice. So iPro gonna be on Huge Power. Logice on Slee the Spiker. And we're in Gen 7. Alright.
Is the base camera up or the mega camera up? I
This
think
is-
we've got both.
This is
Base.
the base camera up. The Mega Gallade is benched.
Okay.
For like the second or third time this season, they've benched Mega Gallade with this team. Yeah. But it is into Mega Sableye, so it does make sense. Mega Sableye, Slowbro, Torn. Yeah, I get it, you know? And once again, bringing the camera up against these fat teams. Let's see how it goes for them. Tapu Fini going to lead off into the Sableye. Pretty comfortable. Just going to see a Fake Out or a Protect. There's a Fake Out, gets that Mega off. Now back to the Torn. As Moonblast comes out, it's going to be a pretty bulky Torn, it looks like. You see a knockoff on the Choice Spec, so that's AV Torn for sure. Now, I can't just U-turn, regen that off, and now you can go to your Slowbro. With the specs removed from Fini, Slowbro kind of just sits on it forever, but it's actually Calm Mind, just in case for the knockoff. So now at +1, okay, Slowbro is also AV out the ass. So between the double regen AV, I mean, this Fini's not going to get a whole lot done. Now, it's Seismic on the Ferrothorn. No lefties. We're going to go Nidoqueen because you don't really set up hazards as the Sableye comes in. And this is going to allow a Flamethrower to go out, but Akaberry able to live that. It goes for Power Whip. Nidoqueen does live, but the Ferrothorn is going to go down. Now, Persian in, goes for Dark Pulse, knocks out the Nidoqueen. So that's the only rocker on Logice's team, so rocks are never going to go up. So this Thundurus is going to be pretty scary, potentially. Yeah, Thundurus looks really incredible. It has to be like Scarf Kyurem to check it, or something like that. Now, Parting Shot into the Torn. We see Mesprit come in on the Hurricane. Does basically nothing. Gets the Confusion, though, and now U-turn into Sableye is definitely in order. Here's the Sableye, as we do see a U-turn. Could have seen like a skill swap there to get rocks up, but instead we're just going to take the Thundurus turn. As a Fake Out comes out, gets a little bit of minor chip, but it's full switch Thundurus, no nasty plot, no nothing like that. And we see a Toxic as Feeny comes in, so that's decent. And now we catch the Serp with Thunderous, okay. HP Flying looks like is going to do... Might be a 2-hit KO through the light screen, but not willing to stay in and find out as Camerupt comes in. With light screen up and double AV, this Camerupt is definitely not doing anything useful. And Torn can just kind of stay in and go for attacks at this point. Like, even if Thunderous comes in, like you take nothing from this. Light screen AV Spadef Torn. Really unkillable at this moment. Do we have Light Clay? It's not Light Clay, at least. Okay, Nasty Plot Persian.
Rattled Nasty Plot.
Yeah, it gets rattled. So, +2/+2, but does Sableye live this? We go for a Fake Out. Do we have to sack into Fake Out? Okay, it actually just lives. Persian is horrible.
It rose.
Flinch?
There's a Toxic. Okay, not playing around with flinches any more than you have to. You're going to trade the Sableye for the Persian, basically. But something else has to take a hit. It's going to be Torn. Here's the Z move. Does this KO?
Oh,
This could be big if it kills. +2 Z move not killing is so homeless.
almost.
Now Kieran Black comes in.
Imagine if the Thunderous was Nasty Plot Z move.
Yeah. Now a Dragon Claw to camera. That's going to do so much damage. And Lava Plume comes out. Do we see a burn? No burn. We're actually going to pivot out to Slowbro, expecting the Feeny, but no such luck. Now the Mesprit's going to come in on the Slowbro.
No.
Yeah, the Sableye's dead, so rocks can go up. Will hamper the Kieran Black a little bit, but Foul Play knocks out the Mesprit from that range, and now Thunders comes in. Slowbro's not going to die from here. It's AV, remember. So can get some chip here. Goes for an Ice Beam, but the smart Volt Switch into Feeny play. And now Feeny is going to trade HP with the Slowbro. The bulky water is kind of clearing each other a little bit. And now it's Thunders versus the world. I think it all comes down to, is this Kyurem Choice Scarf? Because if it is, this feels very over. Here's the Kyurem coming out, going to answer this question sooner rather than later. You see an Outrage, going to kill through the Misty Terrain. Terrain's not going to come into effect here, but it's not Scarf Kyurem, or it's Scarf Thunderous.
Pretty sure it's Scarf Thunderous.
So Torn comes in, it is Scarf Thunderous. How do you see this team and you think, yeah, Scarf Thunderous is what I'm bringing?
Yeah, I'm like, why is it
not,
Scarf
right?
Volt Switch for no reason? Yeah.
Like, you see, probably like Nasty Plot Z. It would be my first idea. Is it a Z user? It is a Z user.
80,
Yeah.
80 special attack Nasty Plot instead of the 140 something.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of a strange choice from Hyper, but to be fair, if it wasn't Scarf, it would have just gotten revenged by Kyurem anyways, so Blodgeiss was prepared for both situations. And comes out with a win. Big win against iPro. Brings his team to a deciding Game 8. And here we have Wombo versus ID Cup. Wombo looking for a win for Huge Power. ID Cup looking for that draw for Slay the Spiker. Is Camel the new GOAT ground of SM? It's looking like it. Not a great performance that game, but obviously versus Theo it was Thanos. Alright, Wombo versus ID Cup. Champions for all the marbles this week. We see this double steel rain, a triple steel rain team actually. The Drill, the Scizor, and the Arch. And then on the other side you see like a more standardish looking team with Mega Dragonite, I think this is. Let me see. Yeah, this is Mega Dragonite. On the opposing side, a regular Dragonite was benched, so that's interesting. But we can get into the game here. Archaludon gonna lead off into the Dragonite. Both of these guys not really super great into each other. We see a Mirror Coat into the Mega Dragonite. Trying to just absorb a Draco and kill back. Totally reasonable, but ID Cup not gonna be fooled. Gonna go hard Rotom. And that should be a pretty free Volt Switch or Will-O-Wisp. Okay, Scizor dodges the Wisp, but you can't just go for it again. Huh?
Wait, why did we risk this? Like, our Scizor's now burned.
I have to assume it's like Facade, right? Because nothing else really wants to come in on Rotom anyways. I guess Arch can kind of stay in and trade HP,
Arch?
but...
Yeah?
Yeah. Maybe it's better to just stay in, but either way. A close combat? Definitely weird, yeah. And now we're going to see a Hydro Pump does big damage, 67, and there is the Facade. So yeah,
Facade.
that's why we're going out of our way to get burned, but still, like, not going to beat the Rotom 1v1, and potentially going to see a big pain split on the Switch, but no, just going to get extra, and doesn't want to miss a Hydro Pump and going to get punished for that. Now, Drill goes for the rocks. Conkeldurr could be packing Defog here. Probably likely is, actually, yeah. There's the Defog, gets rid of the rocks as Pelipper comes in. But Rotom is chipped now, so Dragonite has to serve as the Pelipper switch in, which is a little bit dangerous. This does get access to Ice Beam. But Dragonite does make it in unscathed, and now can go for the Mega Evolution Hurricane, fully accurate in the rain. As Drill is going to get 3-8 KO'd potentially, and Dragonite not really forced out by this. Another Hurricane comes out as Slurpuff eats the Citrus Berry. Probably going to force out this Dragonite. Dragonite's going to take that hit, which is actually really important for Wombo. Now this Dragonite's in revenge range for stuff like the Excadrill, the Archaludon, and stuff. So we're going to see a switch to Kleavor on Flash Cannon. A little bit ambitious, but does live barely. Goes for the close combat, gets some good chip on the Stamina Archaludon. Gonna go down to the Flash Cannon, but no rocks up from our Kleavor. The Arch is gonna heal up a little bit with leftovers. Now Conk comes in, threatening a KO potentially with Drain Punch. Scizor going to be knocked out. This should be another entry point for Pelipper. We see Dragonite come in. It's at 32%. Probably gonna have to just sack the Rotom. And down goes the Rotom. Do we use this as a heal opportunity for Dragonite? Is this Scarf Pelipper? It is Scarf Pelipper. Do we live? We do live, and we get that Roost off. Very crucial for Mighty Cup to get that Roost off, and now we can Roost all the way back up to Multiscale. Drill comes in. Moldbreaker does go through the Multiscale, but full HP Dragonite has nothing to fear from this Exca. Could be packing Surf as well. Just goes for Hurricane, and that Drill does a lot of damage. 42 is more than I expected. Going for a Roost, this is a dangerous game. This could be a flinch away from just winning the game.
Yeah, now
we go hard King Gambit, so that makes me think this is definitely Scarf Excadrill. But now Gambit comes in and Samurott on the double. Could be packing a fighting move like Sacred Sword, so Conkeldurr does come in as Razor Shell calls the switch, but J-Ricky gonna put you out of that situation. A double to Dragonite on the flip turn. Okay, catches that with a flip turn, and now Pelipper comes in, and this is really scary for ID Cup. What do you switch into this Pelipper? It's going to be Conkeldurr calling an Ice Beam, gets that play right, and now can go for a Drain Punch as something else has to come in, and it's going to be the Drill. Knocks that out with a Drain Punch. A Wombo expecting a T-Punch there, but can't really risk the Pelipper in that situation. Now back to the Pelipper, is threatening a Hurricane or in a Weather Ball. Either would probably kill the Conkeldurr from this range. So it's really dubious. What do you switch into? Is it the Clefable maybe? Or you just sack the Conk? Okay, Conk goes down. That's going to open up the Samurott. There's no longer a real switch into Samurott. I guess there is, kind of. I don't know. Dragonite's going to take the Hurricane here. And Dragon Pulse going to finish off the Arch. Totally reasonable. But now Pelipper's in. Now I'm wondering, if you allow this to lock into Ice Beam, can you just go King Gambit? And Samurott can't beat the last two? Is that like a win path? Or you just go Clefable and spam Moonblast? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think in this situation, I would probably go King Gambit, because the HP doesn't seem as valuable when Sacred Sword is always there for the revenge. I definitely want my Dragonite HP, and I definitely want my Clefable HP. So I'd probably go King Gambit here if I were ID Cup. And Wombo predicts that. So Wombo would have got my ass. But ID Cup stays in, calls the Weather Ball, goes for the Hurricane though, not the Roost. I think if you're staying in, Roost is definitely just better. But Hurricane does just knock out the Pelipper from full.
Okay.
That's crazy. And now another Hurricane into Samurott.
Maybe like...
Yeah, you do have rain turns.
Shell in the rain.
Clefable is unaware, so takes the spike.
Like, does this just kill?
It lives.
Oh,
okay.
It doesn't kill.
And draining Beso to finish up the game, and that's gonna tie up the series.
So is that 4-4?
It is 4-4.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know why they thought they were allowed to bring the Pelipper. Yeah, the Dragonite was quite good with accurate Hurricanes, but I mean, you saw there the Pelipper was the main guy dishing out offensive pressure. Like, without that Pelipper, how is he breaking through stuff like the Conk? Even like putting pressure on the Rotom, right? You kind of got a kill more often than not when the Pelipper came in. So I see the vision, but that's going to be the series all tied up. And then we go over to Despair.
The series.
All right. So we have Lucas versus Void of Darkness. We SV. And we have our Zaru team. This is going to be Terra Water, aimed at, blinking the Cinderace, the Landorus, stuff like that. And just also having Terra Blast coverage into those guys is quite valuable. The rest of the stuff, pretty reasonable. Just to see how this goes. Wormfrost going to lead off into the Gliscor, which is like, oh, gotta get out of there. Hard Cinderace on the Blizzard, totally fine. And we get frozen, so unfortunate. But Landers is going to come in. We have Clear Amulet, so it's not going to get intimidated, and we actually Thaw immediately. Pyro Ball, not one of the moves that forces Thaw, so it's just a lucky Thaw there. And now Gliscor in on the Lando is able to get up our Toxic Orb activated. We could potentially trade Rocks or just go for a knockoff here on the Landorus. Gets rid of the Citrus Berry. Alright, now Rotom comes in. We have our Empoleon to come in on Blizzard. This Rotom is a big threat, but so far playing decently well around it. Volt Switch, not going to do too much to the Empoleon as Moltres comes in on the Rock. So in before Rocks, now goes for a Taunt, which blocks our Roar. And now we're just going to start nasty plotting up with our Moltres, but Flip turns out into Cinderace. Now Cinderace should be able to get some good damage here with the Double Edge. So activates Berserk, but now the J-Ricky is going to heal this Moltres back up to 52% and knocks out our Cinderace. And now Empoleon comes in, and thanks to our J-Ricky, we're able to live the Fiery Wrath and fire off a Torrent, Surf. Wait, never mind, we're flinched. Or even go for a Roar, right? One of the two. But flinch, so that's tough. And what that's going to mean is we're going to have to go Pecharunt and go for our Destiny Bond to knock out the Moltres. Didn't really have another play at that point. So we had to sack 3 Mons for the Moltres, and that is no good. Now it's Zarude versus the world. Goes for a Trailblaze on the Rotom, calls a Volt Switch here. Instead, a T-Wave comes out, which is fine. We do have the Jungle Healing. Goes for a Blizzard. This is like 50-50s around the Terra. Because once we Terra, we're weak to the electric moves. So finally Terra on the Blizzard Connect, and goes for a Jungle Healing. Gets all the way back up to full, and heals the Paralysis. Now a Swords Dance comes out, being quite strong, and now a Volt Switch does very little damage, but Slowking can come in, and this Slowking is Terra Dark, and he is going to click it here. It's going to avoid the 2-hit KO from Zarude, and
this was a cool.
It's actually
Slowking
not
set.
going to avoid the 2-hit KO, but it does get big chip on the Zarude. Now, you can go for like a Jungle Heal, expecting a sack here from Void of Darkness to get the regen off. But even after that Swords Dance, the Slowking might still be out of range. Yeah, because the sack is going to be Landorus, and after the Intimidate, yeah, we do get the Swords Dance play correct. But the problem is we are forced to take the KO on Landorus here. And now Slowking can come in, and with Boots, it's able to take this no problem, 57, and Zarude's going to go down. Now we do have Gliscor to come in here, but Rotom Frost is available to just switch in with the Boots and threaten Blizzard. Only 4 Blizzards, and we do have Protect, so there is a world where we can PP stall these Blizzards, but it's going to be tough, right? Latias can switch in. We have to dodge this Blizzard, and we do dodge the Blizzard, okay? Now 2 left, goes for a Protect on the Nasty Plot, so this next Blizzard is going to kill something if it connects. Goes for a double Protect, and not going to get it. Gliscor goes down. But Latias in the back, I mean, maybe can do something. Here's the Latias. Rotom kind of we have to dodge another Blizzard here. Is going to dodge a Blizzard, gets the agility off, and Toxic is going to put it in range of Psyshock, so Rotom goes down. But Cinderace can come in, takes the Rock, so indicates maybe a Choice Band, and Cinderace goes for a Psyshock, puts it into Blaze range, and that's going to be 79%. But it does survive, and now Slowking comes in, but Terra Dark Slowking, able to live anything from the Latias and go for a Foul Play, and that's going to be the game.
Yeah, cool Zarude check from Judgment Day there with a Terra Dark Foul Play Slowking.
Yeah, very resourceful. Obviously that Moltres getting the flinch on Empoleon, forced to sack 2 extra Pokemon. Not great, right?
A bit unfortunate.
Now we did dodge some Blizzards later in the game, but yeah, gotta say, not fun. Now we go on to this game, which is Theo versus Bobbert, the stall game in Gen 7. In this one, we felt pretty confident going into this one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Snorlax, just an absolute menace in this game. Able to check a lot of these guys, like the Zapdos, even like the Steelix, the Roserade can't really break through like a Curselax in the end game. And then you have Dugtrio to trap things like the Infernape, like that Roserade, like Mew, even the Steelix as well. So this combination, quite strong. And you have the Mega Sableye, just prevent hazards from going up, all that sort of thing. It's pretty good matchup for us. So let's get into it. Sableye is going to lead off into the Zapdos as we just go for the Mega Evolution. As Discharge comes out, gets the Para and the full paralysis turn 1, which is awesome. And now you can just go for a like modest Magnet Volt Switch there as we're forced to recover. And now Torn comes in on the CC. Infernape reveals to be Life Orb, so it is going to be able to get trapped by Dugtrio at any point. But now Zapdos comes in on the Toxic as Snorlax makes the pivot in on Volt Switch. And Infernape comes in once more, but once more our Torn's at full, can just pivot to that. Even if a Flare Blitz comes out, we do have the J-Ricky to help mitigate that damage. And Infernape's basically killing itself to recoil at this point. It's already down at half. Goes for the Air Slash, gets some chip on the Zapdos, and now can just go hard to the Dugtrio, expecting the Volt Switch. There it is, threatening something like a Stone Edge on the Zapdos. So Zap going to switch out of there into the Mew as we get our rocks up from that situation. Now goes for the Earthquake as Mew goes for a Drain Punch, only does 60%. But the recovery means that Z Earthquake not quite in range at this point. But it goes for a Sworn Stance, and our Torn is packing Foul Play. So Theo snipes him on that one. Now Weavile comes in, and at this point, we get Pursuit trapped, but our Torn is physically bulky anyway, so it's not going to be too bad. Milotic comes in, can go for a Surf or an Ice Beam, something of the sort. Or Scald, sorry. Goes for Scald, doesn't get the burn on Roserade, but now Sableye comes in to prevent these spikes from going up. And an Aromatherapy comes out, cures the Zapdos, which is going to come in here on the knockoff. Lives on 1%, which is unlucky. Now it roosts up, and we get full paralyzed. They roost up again. And we're full paralyzed. Discharge. We get the recover off at least. And then Discharge comes out and full paralyzed. Discharge comes out. Get the recover off. But like they can just spam the Discharge for free. Sableye's finally full HP, can go for a move, but we're fully paralyzed. And now a Volt Switch will come out on the forced recover turn into Infernape, and we're full paralyzed. So what can you do, right? Infernape is going to take the KO, but at this point, like, Infernape's so low, not really even worried about it anymore. Torn can't come in, go for Foul Play as Lix comes in. We're going to pivot out to the Milotic as rocks do go up. Now, Roserade is going to come in on this Milotic, takes the Scald, no burn again, but Snorlax is able to come in on this Roserade as we go for a Leech Seed, which is annoying for sure. But now pivot back to Torn. On the Sludge Bomb, no poison, but the Cobra Berry Roserade able to lure in the Torn. That's a big deal. Fortunately though, our Dugtrio is able to trap this Roserade, so now our Milo is freed up. If you look at it, Milo is like really strong outside of the Zapdos. So if we're able to beat the Zapdos, Milo should be able to just carry the game. Here, Sucker Punch puts Weavile in Rock's range. So Weavile's dead basically. Milotic comes in, forced to take this knockoff, but here a Taunt, really smart play from Bobbert, prevents the recover, and now Milotic is forced to be low HP, which is quite crucial. Because now Zapdos is going to come in, and a Volt Switch is coming, or Discharge. Yeah, Discharge just actually knocks out the Milotic. Theo going for a Snorlax endgame at this point. Gonna Volt Switch out into, what, the Steelix? Yeah, Steelix comes in. As we go for a rest, pretty much forced at that point. And now we see this is Life Orb, Sheer Force, Steelix, but we do have Sleep Talk Curse, so if you're able to get one curse over the 2 turns, you are able to, you know, not die to the Steelix ever, basically. But instead, we get rest and return, so that's just going to be the game as Steelix wraps up this endgame. Even going to be faster than Clefable, which is a little fun tidbit. But yeah, those full paras on Sableye, like immediately getting the para into full para, into full para, into full para. Really not a good time. Just unfortunate. I think Bobbert played well. What's up?
It's a Judgment Day moment. What can you do?
Sure, yeah. Alright, now we go on to game 3, which is going to be Glop versus Palkia 62, a past teammate of mine. And yeah, so we're using Thanos This team is very strong. But going up against this like Addison style weird offense. So two teams that are like pretty similar, or not similar at all, but like this team pretty similar to past successful drafts. Cinderace on Mew. Yes, here it comes. Let's just get into it. Kartana gonna lead off into the Mew. Mew gonna get out of there into Fiend the Ferrothorn. We are Rocky Helmet, so get some good chip on this Kartana. And that 31% from Kartana reveals black glasses, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. Now Sacred Sword is not going to kill our Ferrothorn because it is black glasses Kartana, so it's going to get traded by Body Press. Love that. Now Togekiss comes in, is going to revenge kill our Ferrothorn, but that's totally fine. We can go Mew, and this is a prime opportunity to get our Misto Beam going. So Mew, gonna go for the Misto Beam as Cinderace on Mew, guys, and we're just gonna miss our Misto. This is so sad. And now the Cinderace is allowed to live and get U-turn chip into Jirachi. By the way, Rock Week to Rock Week and then Ground Week to Ground Week. Love this. But then Jirachi takes that 80%, and Mew is gonna go for a potential Speed Tie, Earth Power, but gets flinched from Iron Head. I'll probably Scarf Jirachi at the end of the day. And now, can't just go for Vacuum Wave. Could have gone for 2 Vacuum Waves instead, but yeah. Now Thanos comes in the Celesteela, and this is going to be Meteor Beam number 2. Catches the Swampert, forces Big Chip on it, and now with that +1, this Air Slash is going to do big damage, as Liquidation in Torrent with Life Orb is going to do a lot of damage, but is going to go down to the next Air Slash. Now Cinderace comes in to revenge kill our Celesteela, but we do have Tapu Fini to pivot in on this Pyro Ball. And now, can go for just an attack here. Goes for Moonblast, as Togekiss comes in, gets a drop. But Nihilego can come in on the light screen turn. But this light screen going to prevent Nihilego from doing too much, and Cinderace going to be the switch in. Catches the Celesteela, goes for the Pyro Ball, and now Zygarde can come in. And this is like our way of setting up Zygarde, but it does have Taunt, so prevents our Dragon Dance, unfortunately. And now it's going to U-turn into the Togekiss, but Glop goes for the Stone Edge, and with the power of Adamant Life Orb, does knock out the Togekiss. Now Kyurem comes in, goes for the Icicle Spear, is going to knock out our Zygarde. Few more turns on the light screen, so Tapu Fini is going to come in, goes for a Trick, and actually it's going to give a Scarf to the Cinderace. And Pyro Ball is going to come out as we go for a Hydro Pump, bringing the Cinderace down to Blaze range, but the Pyro Ball does miss, and that's actually bad for us, because if this Fini goes down to the Blaze boosted Pyro Ball, we can go Nihilego, and there's no switch in to Power Gem, and we are Speed Booster on this Nihilego. So there's no way for them to get out of that besides you know, maybe baiting our Misto on Kyurem and switching to a Sack. Like, that's their out. But here, yeah, he goes for the Trick, trying not to die, but now, at this point, it was a 50-50, because if you Trick on a U-turn, then we're just fucked. You know, so at that point, it's a little bit tricky, so it doesn't get that one right, but now Kyurem can come in on the Tapu Fini. It's going to take this Moonblast, but the Dragon Dance is going to wrap up the game because we don't have time to get our speed boost on Nihilego before the Kyurem comes in. So Nihilego comes in, as long as we get like 3 hits from Icicle Spear, it's going to be game, and that's going to be it. So, down 3-0, that's tough. Now we go on to my game, up against Sub-Zero. This matchup was quite poor. He has a lot of Thanos guys on his team. I have some good offensive pieces, but I really just can't check a whole lot of his offense. Like Mousehold, I have no resist on my roster, which is probably a mistake in the drafting thing, so I'm getting punished for that. As well as, you know, breaking the G-King is very annoying. I don't have great Sludge Bomb switch-ins. I don't have good Mamo switch-ins. Primarina is Thanos. Delphox is Thanos. Like, everything is so annoying. That being said, my Garchomp is quite good here. I'm EV to live an Ice Shard from Mamo from full, as well as like a Scarf Primarina Moonblast, so quite bulky on the Garchomp. My Gallade is also quite bulky with Drain Punch, Shadow Sneak SD, that sort of set. The only problem with this is if I lock in a Shadow Sneak or I kill something with Shadow Sneak, then Mousehold can come in after and Encore me, which is a little bit annoying, but is what it is. My Clefable is going to be Stealth Rock with Fizdef, able to switch in on Mamo sometimes at least, as well as, you know, curb a little bit of the Mousehold weakness, because it can take quite a lot of Pop Bombs before it goes down. Also has Healing Wish to bring back my Garchomp or my Gallade, or my Blastoise, which is going to be Shell Smash physical here, with quite a lot of HP investment, and the J-Ricky Citrus Berry to counteract a lot of the recoil from Wave Crash and Double Edge. My Rotom-Mow is going to be Max Spadef. Yes, Glop. Welcome to the stream, Cinderace on Mew. My Rotom is Max Spadef to help against the Primarina, as well as I'm able to Nasty Plot and 1v1 G-King, which is really nice. And then my Umbreon is there as just generally a bulky Pokemon, good versus the Delphox, good versus G-King and Mousehold. Sub stole this out name while I was eating. Yeah, literally. Well, let's get into the game. Delphox leads off into my Clefable. Now into Delphox, there's a few things that could be Nasty Plot, could be Calm Mind, could just be like all out attacking. Like you could be Dazzling Gleam, Overheat, Fire Blast, and Psychic Noise. That kind of breaks through my entire team besides the Umbreon, but the fact that I do have the Umbreon could be a Nasty Plot Delphox. So he is going to go for a substitute here, guarding against like a T-Wave Clef, as I just get my rocks up, then I go hard to my Umbreon. But here a Nasty Plot comes out. Now I am able to break this sub, but he is able to get 2 Nasty Plots up before I'm able to break the sub. And so now Overheat is just going to nuke my Umbreon. There's nothing I can do about that. And now at this point...
Snarl would have been really cool. Like on
I still would have died. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It would have been cool though.
No, I think it would have been game losing, because then I don't break the sub.
Yeah.
he would just stay behind the sub, yeah.
Yeah. So now Gallade comes in. The only way this thing can kill my Gallade is with Overheat. So my plan is to get Sneak Chip, and then, you know, the Overheat will bring it back to neutral and I can revenge kill it. So I do have rocks up, but it is going to cost me basically 2 Pokemon. And then that Shadow Sneak does absolutely nothing, revealing this Delphox's like max defense. But now my Blastoise can come in. They go for a Psychic Noise, but I am able to go for a Shell Smash on this and start to open up the game with my own offense. Go for a Wave Crash, knocks out the Delphox, so Thanos is dead. The heal block goes away, so my Citrus Berry is able to Eaten. But now Primarina comes in, and I need one more round of rocks before this thing is in range of the Double Edge. So I have to switch out here. I can go to my Rotom-Mow. It's not the end of the world. So Mow is going to come in, Mow Money, as Energy Ball is clicked. And this is great. This means I'm able to go for a Nasty Plot here. And I'm able to 1v1 this Slowking quite comfortably here, as Sludge Bomb only does half to me, and T-Bolt is a 2-hit KO. And with my leftovers, I'm not even like super low at the end of this. Now here, I know if he sacks his Slowking, he's going to lose, like to Clef. Like Clef is super annoying. Stuff like Blastoise as well. Even the Rotom-Mow in the future, right, is going to be super annoying if he sacks his Slowking. So I make the boss move. I go for a Leaf Storm, expecting the Mamoswine to come in. But Corviknight comes in instead, so he just wants to sack his Corviknight. That's probably fine by me, to be honest. I'm going to get the drop, but the T-Bolt is going to still kill the Corviknight. If anything, I get an extra round of leftovers in, because I'm still going to be forced out by the Mamo either way. But here, he's able to go farm some regen with his Slowking instead of going Mamo, thanks to the drop. But still, I have my Garchomp pivot on the Sludge Bomb. He could have clicked Ice Beam, but I would have lived. And he actually gets the crit poison. Never lucky, what can I say? But this is really nice because he sacked both of his ground resist, so I can just get a KO with Earthquake here, basically. He is going to get the regen farm as he goes Mamoswine. This Earthquake is going to hurt 62%, so quite a lot of damage, and now I know he's feeling like quite ahead in this game, so he's probably just going to go for the obvious Ice Shard, so I just going to pivot to my Clef, no problem. Now here, at this point, I do have to start making plays. I've been making plays with the Nasty Plot Mow, and now I make the double to Garchomp to get in on the Slowking for another KO. I say another KO, it's just the first KO that Garchomp gets, but the second opportunity to Earthquake into no ground resist, and there it goes down. Primarina is Choice Scarf going to come in, and unfortunately, my whole team is 2-hit KO'd by Moonblast at this range, thanks to my Clefable taking a little bit of chip, and my Rotom-Mow being a little bit chipped as well. So this turn is pretty tough, right? because I need my Garchomp to break the Slowking. It's the only thing on my team that can really do that job. But at the same time, I also need my Rotom around to like check the Primarina, but I also need my Clefable to Healing Wish up my my Blastoise, because Blastoise also can definitely win this endgame if I get the Shell Smash off. So like there's a lot to think about here, like what is the correct sack? And at the end of the day, I ended up deciding on sacking my Rotom Mow. There's a few reasons for this. One was that if he got like absolute min rolls or like was like a bulky Scarf variant, then my Rotom Mow would be able to live too. I got crit anyways, so it wasn't going to be living the next one anyways, but I went to this, I sack it off, and then now if I'm able to go Clefable, the leftovers will mean that the next time Clefable's in, my Moonblast, like his Moonblast won't 2-hit KO me, and I have a switch in anyways. So my Clefable is able to Moonlight back up to full. Now here is a pretty tricky situation, right? He eventually will have to go Slowking Galar on this. And if I get a Moonblast off on Primarina, that's really good for my Blastoise. It limits the amount of recoil it has to take, and also will put it in range of like my Garchomp Earthquake, stuff like that. But if he goes Slowking on my Moonblast, then Slowking Sludge Bomb is like really threatening, right? Or you could just go for Chili, right? Chili is also really annoying. So what I want to do is try to catch the Slowking with my Garchomp again. Here he Moonblasted in Moonlight, and here I'm going to make the double to Chomp, but he stays in, catches my double, and that's going to be the game. I can't win anymore. So now my Blastoise comes in, I'm able to eat the Moonblast and get the Shell Smash off, but the problem is the recoil I get from killing the Primarina is going to knock out my Blastoise. So there's not even a hope of Healing Wishing back my Blastoise. And that's going to be the game, unfortunately. So well played from Sub. Great Delphox set. I probably should have gone Umbreon immediately rather than trying to get up my rocks. But alas, that's going to be the game. And we're now down 0-4. So yeah. Now going to game 5 is Jimmy G versus Rai. And anything to say about this this game? This Blastoise set is definitely interesting, you'll see. I'll just get right into it. I just want to end the stream and be depressed about this, and then we'll bounce back, you know? Spoiler
is that
alert,
Mega Hera
despair, you know?
or regular?
That is Mega Hera, yes.
It's Mega Hera, yes. And we have Clefable, one of the only Pokemon that can actually switch into Heracross and not get 2-hit KO'd. Our Blastoise is going to lead off into Hera. We're just going to go into Clefable on the Pin Missile. Gonna do very little damage. They get 1 crit, but it's really whatever. It's going to force our heal here as Thundurus comes in. But we do have stuff like AV Raikou, which can pivot in here, but he's going to go for a knockoff, and this is a physical Thundurus, which is going to be much more annoying than a special variant. Here goes for an HP Ice, catches the Donphan on the switch in, looks to be maybe Assault Vest, and then crits our Blastoise, which is super annoying. Wouldn't have needed to do anything. Like, that crit is really important for this turn specifically, because now this Qwilfish is like kind of threatening a KO on our Blastoise with Self-Destruct or like Explosion, whichever one it gets, and can kind of set up spikes as we're forced out, or like even just like Poison Jabs able to 1v1 us. So here's a spike, and we're actually going to be forced to rest there because of that. Now Garchomp is going to come in on this Qwilfish as T-Spike goes up. We do have a Roselia to absorb, but is going to make the positioning a little bit awkward. Now Earthquake from Life Orb Garchomp is going to bring this Donphan very low, and a switch out to Togekiss is going to cover the next Earthquake. And now Scarf Togekiss takes out our Garchomp. Now he can absorb the T-Spike at least, but yeah, now Qwilfish can come in on our own spikes, and Bisharp is going to come in on the taunt, and we're able to go for, I presume, a knockoff here, get rid of the Donphan. Yeah, but the problem is now Heracross is going to come in, and here Heracross isn't even the main problem. The problem is when Clefable comes in, it's forced to heal, otherwise the next time Hera comes in, it's going to be a KO. And when the Clef is forced to heal, it allows the Thundurus to come in for free, and Thundurus is the real problem here. Because now, Roselia is going to come in, but after 2 rounds of spikes, this knockoff is like a roll to 2-hit KO. And it's not actually a rule at all, because Rai is packing Iron Tail, which is significantly stronger after the Eviolite is gone. Now Raikou comes in, is slower, and is going to go for a slow Volt Switch on the Thundurus. And now Bisharp comes in. Is Thundurus in range of the knockoff here? This is Scarf Bisharp, I don't even know. But knockoff is going to come out. Another knockoff into the Heracross, expecting maybe a double or a Rock Blast there. I'm not too sure. But Bisharp is going to go down. Now Clefable comes in, and Rock Blast is going to get clicked. Gets one crit, but one crit is not the end of the world. As we just go for Heal Bell. He's going to bulk up for some reason. I don't know why we bulked up there. Probably just another Rock Blast would have been better. But now, going to Rock Blast after the soft build. We're going to end up low, but higher than we would have ended up without the... I don't know. It's cooked either way, you know? Now Blastoise comes in. Thanks to the Aromatherapy, it is awake. But Quillfish is going to come in on the Blizzard. And with the J-Ricky is going to heal up a little bit and explode all over our Blastoise. And from this range, Thundurus is going to be able to clean up this end game, it looks like. Yeah, just T-Bolt and a knockoff, or any move really, onto this Raikou. So yeah, Thundurus really put in a ton of work there. And we're now down 5-0. Series is over, but there's still 3 more games. Despair. Shout out to the thumbnail. I think the thumbnail is really funny. But yeah, watching these games doesn't make it feel better. Now we have McMillions versus McBillions. Who is this? This is Hedja.
Hedja.
Yeah. And let's just get this over with, bro. Rip off the band-aid. Weavile leads off into Roaring Moon. Good lead for McMillions. Gonna force us out into the Ninetales, which is the only real switch-in. I guess they could have gone Okidoki as well. So Icicle Trash gonna force out the Roaring Moon. As Ninetales comes in, gonna set the Veil most likely. Yep, there it is as Gengar comes in. But now with the Veil up, Roaring Moon's able to come in. But we do have Substitute, so could see a Dazzling Gleam or a Focus Blast, and we're actually faster than the Roaring Moon for some reason. They go for a taunt expecting like a Will-O-Wisp, but now we're gonna miss the Focus Blast, which sucks because we would have knocked it out with like a Sludge Bomb next turn. But alas, it is Focus Miss. One of them is gonna miss, no problem. Now Skarmory comes in on the knockoff, and with a weak armor, we're able to be faster and just go for our hazards, get up our rocks. As Goldango comes in, but we do have an AV Hydrapple with Dragon Tail, able to force this out, no problem. We're going to see Terra Blast is 35 at +2, so this Goldango not a really big threat at all to this team. Now Ninetales comes in. We're able to switch to our Gengar as another Veil turn goes up. Now Roaring Moon is going to get sacked off to this Gengar as we get the Substitute off on the sack. And now Sludge Bomb should pick up the KO here as we are Life Orb, even through the Veil. And now Goldango comes in, could go for a fish on Sludge Poison, but instead gonna go Hydrapple, not allow this to Nasty Plot up. And just go for a Earth Power, I'm not too sure about that. And now we get crit by Make It Rain at +1.
I feel like with Rocks up, Dragon Tail was just like...
Yeah, for sure. Didn't need to allow that Make It Rain to happen at all. And now Gengar in on the SD turn, could potentially outspeed with a Sludge Bomb as we do, and we get the Poison. So, not bad, not bad. And Hornleech gonna knock out our Gengar for sure, but is gonna get Curse Bodied. Now Weavile is able to Revenge Kill this Ogerpon with Knockoff, so just gonna go for that. Ninetales is so low, it can't really switch into Weavile anymore, but Okidoki can come in, and gonna go for the bulk up as Skarmory comes in. Gonna match the setup with an Iron Defense, but this Okidoki is, you know, with the weak armor, and then Brave Bird obviously not doing a whole lot through the leftovers and boosted defense. This Okidoki is looking very scary.
Set up more like the Iron Defenses are not gonna help.
Yeah, basically we need to crit a Brave Bird like now.
And then crit like 2 more.
Yeah, the problem is once this Okidoki hits us with a Drain Punch, weak armor starts proccing, and then you can't really roost because you lose your flying type, and then Drain Punch is super effective. So we have like a 3-turn crit window here, and even then I don't think a crit necessarily kills from full. Yeah, 12%. and Skarm goes down. Okie dokie, back up to full. And I don't think you guys need me to tell you that this was not the optimal sequence, and that we're now going to lose. Awesome, yeah. Who was that?
Could have been anyone.
Could have been anyone, yeah. Now Terrapico is going to get crit through the shell. Gets +1. If we crit back, could kill, but yeah, no such luck. Look, if we crit that, there's a world where Weavile wins that, but alas. Now we can go for a crit or a flinch there, but yeah, game's over. Had to be guard dog too, so this was rough, yeah, for sure. Yeah, down goes our whole team to this okie dokie. And we go on to game 7. It's going to be Berna versus Tidal, Gen 7. Using this really cool team. This is kind of like a different take on the Aster J team from Season 7, I want to say it was. It was 7 or 8. No, Season 8. The one with Mega Gyarados. There was a Coco on there and a Zygarde. We have Zerachomp on this version, but the rest of the team is pretty similar. And this Mismagius has been proving itself to be a very strong Pokemon with this new like Z Captain rule set. But yeah, as you can see, no Ghost Resist. Nobody really drafts Ghost Resist in Usum very often, so Mismagius always going to be pretty strong with that Ghostium Z, and this matchup is no different. As we get into it, Lander's going to lead off into that Clefable. This is Life Orb Clefable at lead, immediately going to get crit. Not that that super matters, it's 2-hit KO'd anyways. But now this does allow a knockoff follow-up, so there's no hope of like a pivot out. Now Mismagius comes in, going to go for a Shadow Ball or something like that. Maybe, yeah, Shadow Ball comes out, and that's going to be a bulky Feeny. Maybe Assault Vest, I'm not sure. Might just be specially defensive, but now a Nasty Plot comes out as Landers pivots back in, but we're just going to knock it out with a Shadow Ball. Mismagius takes one name, and Sceptile comes in. This is not going to kill the Mismagius. So even a Leaf Storm, we're going to live that fire back with an HP Ice, and Mismagius good for 2 here in this early game. Now Jirachi comes in. We have a Skarmory, so we don't necessarily need to sack versus a Jirachi. I'm going to switch to Zapdos, and we're going to catch that with a Toxic, so Berna playing quite well right now. Now, has the Protect able to force some Toxic Chip onto the Zapdos, and now a switch to our Zeraora, which is Assault Vest, as Heat Wave only does 31%, and now there's no Plasma Fist resist, so can just go for it as another Heat Wave comes out, and the Aya Papa Berry, the Super Potion, or Hyper Potion, whatever you want to call it.
Hyper Potion.
Mm-hmm. So Zera and Zapdos, the two electrics trading HP, but Zera does end up alive at the end of the day. Jirachi comes out, likely Choice Scarf to a revenge kill, so just going to go back to the Skarmory. Now here is a crucial mistake here from Berna. We're going to see a Brave Bird as the Feeny comes in, but now, crucially, our Skarmory is at 66%. And if you look at, like, what does Tidal have available, we have a Feeny that's, like, defensive, no real threat. We have Jirachi, which is Scarf, no real threat, especially when we have Rough Skin and Skarmory alive. But there's a Scolipede, and this Scolipede is a Z user. And so allowing this Skarm to take this chip does put it in range of +2 Z move on Scolipede. And it can't really stay in on Feeny at this point, so gonna switch out to the Roserade. But the problem is, even if Roserade kills this Tapu Fini, if it gets a kill, basically, Scolipede can use this as setup fodder. We are Leech Protect, so able to beat this Feeny 1v1, but, I mean, Edit Kid is another Hyper Potion. Now Jirachi comes in on the Sludge Bomb. Yeah, here's another Protect, scouts the lock on Scarf Jirachi. But now a Leech Seed is coming as the U-turn is locked. Feeny's going to take that. Now honestly, you could Leech again as Jirachi comes in. I'm not going to choose to Leech again. But now, Tidal makes a really nice play, doubles to Scolipede on the Protect, trying to scout the Scarf Jirachi, and now it's the perfect situation. Scolipede can Swords Dance on this Roserade set, guaranteed. And now, at +2, it's really a guessing game, right? On the Z-Use, because here's Skarm comes in, And you can like protect on the Z move. You can like sack Mismagius on the Z move. You could do a whole lot of things. But if Scolipede Swords Dances on the switch or protect, then you're just fucked, right? So it's really a 50-50 for the game right now. Whoever gets this 50-50 will instantly win the game. We see the Z user, and Berna predicts the Swords Dance. And that's going to be a Scolipede sweep, potentially. A Garchomp can come in, could live a +2 Mega Horn, but alas, it's going to go down.
Does Z through protect into whatever move kill in that range?
So Z through protect is it does 25% of the damage. So it would leave the Skarm in range of the +2 superpower, I think. So you had to like sack Mismagius on the Z, I think. But alas,
yeah,
it was not meant to be. One
Like,
small mistake.
If it has the superpower though, if it has the superpower, then maybe your Chomp lives and like
Yeah,
you can maybe
it would.
come back.
Yeah, if the Chomp lives, the game is still very much in our control, maybe. Actually, no, because the Skarm would go down.
Yeah,
and the
Jirachi.
Chomp would be at like 2%. So then Jirachi, Scarf, Ironhead just sweeps. Yeah, we're just cooked. So
Yeah.
couldn't take that on the Skarm, basically. Alas. I want to say, like, outside of that one mistake of not roosting with the Skarm, allowing it to be low, Berna played this one pretty well. I was able to get a
Got to
lead
a really
early.
strong position.
Mismagius went
Yeah.
crazy. Just one slip up and Scolipede able to run away with the game. And now game 8, Gypsy King versus Reverse Tracebacks in Champions. Let's get into it. And Fernape gonna lead off into Palafin. So Palafin pretty nice, can just go for a Scarf flip turn as the Pasho Berry reduces the damage. That's a very bulky Infernape. Goes for a Will-O-Wisp, catches our Garchomp on the switch. Hate to see that, and now rocks are going up on both sides, so it's not the end of the world, but yeah, now Slowking can come in. And with it being burned, Garchomp can still beat this 1v1 low-key, but the Poison Jab is definitely not going to help. Now Bellybolt switches in on an assumed Ice Beam, but instead a T-Spike goes up, and the Slowking just beats Bellybolt, so we're forced to Volt out back into Garchomp, so take Chip for not a whole lot of reward. Now the Earthquake comes out, but it's Shuka Berry and only does 19%, which is embarrassing from Garchomp, honestly. Now a Chili out into Noivern, and there's no real switch into Noivern. You're just going to see a Draco Meteor, and Garchomp's going to drop. Now Scizor can come in here. If it's Akaberry, can live the Flamethrower quite comfortably. And goes for a Swords Dance, so starting to get some offense going. Noivern is going to die to +2 Bullet Punch, so goes down immediately. Is Crocodile going to be the answer? Does Crook kill Scizor from 52? I'm not too sure, but either way, this is going to be our Serena Rapid Spin opportunity. Goes for the Foul Play. So Foul Play definitely would have killed from that range. And now a Protect to get some Toxic Chip, but we go for a U-turn, not even a spin. Trying to expect like the Aegislash to come in, but here at Gunk Shot, and we do get the spin off, crucially. So still in the game. But Serena is going to go down basically to this Protect. So Crocodile back up to full with leftovers, but this should be an entry point for our Palafin. And Palafin is our main way of winning the game. So Infernape is just going to get sacked off to the Rave Crash. Down it goes. So no more rocks to deal with for Reverse Tracebacks, but Primarina coming in. Quite annoying. We do have Bellybolt though to deal with it. Psychic Noise means we're not going to be able to heal off, but it is going to do basically no damage. And now it's a question, is Crook going to come in or not? You see a Volt Switch as Crook does come in. So Gypsy with the outplay on that turn. And now Crook threatening an Earthquake there, and we have no resist. But a double to Slowking. Felt like you could have just gone for an Earthquake there, but Slowking comes in, is going to take the Wave Crash and gets that T-Spike back up. So fair enough. Palafin does take the KO. Now Primarina in. But with the T-Spike up, now Bellybolt is in a dangerous position, but not after a Draining Kiss. So Bellybolt able to survive another turn. Now does Crook come in once more? It is going to come in once more. Do we predict that? We do hit the Chilling Water, but if we were predicting the Crook, it probably would have been better to just double to Palafin. rather than the sequence, which still just loses our belly bolt and barely chips the crook. So, yeah, now Palafin can come in, go for another wave crash, or a flip turn, get some chip on the Primarina into the Scizor. Can potentially roost on this, as Crocodile is going to come in. We go for a knockoff, though. I don't think we have roost on this Scizor, so knocks off the leftovers, and we're going to live the Earthquake, goes for a Swords Dance, and now a Parting Gift. The +1 Bullet Punch is not going to KO the Crocodile, but is going to leave it very low. And now there is a world where Weavile can do something in this endgame. We are packing the Poison Jab, and this Primarina is going to be forced to take a Wave Crash here. So it all comes down to, can this Aegislash beat our Weavile 1v1? Chances are probably yes, but it's still not over until it's over. This Primarina is definitely going to be in range of the Poison Jab, especially after this next Wave Crash. But Aegislash, pretty likely to be Culver in this matchup, all things considered. Knockoff Weavile and knockoff Scizor, as well as the Serena. There's really no reason for it not to be Culberberry, to be honest. So is it going to be Culber? It is going to be Culber. Even without Culber, it would have lived, and CC is going to knock out our Weavile, and that is 8-0, and it's only up from here, folks. Yeah, what can I say besides,
You guys filled out the bingo slot. It was worth it.
We did fill the bingo slot. Despair. Alright, now that that's out of the way, hopefully I don't have to do that again in future weeks.
Well, I've heard that there's a new savior for skill villains that has just arrived on the roster.
There is.
A certain
Modest Adamant
has hit the roster. Yep.
Mr. Modest Adamant himself. Let's go.
Yeah, it was Burna's bingo. He sold his game just to get the bingo card.
Yep. Like, the week was already over, right? So might as well just go for the bingo.
Alright. So, are we out of playoffs? No. No, we're not. We still have that one tie from week 1, and that was versus the strongest team so far. The Big Dogs are currently seed 1, so getting a tie versus them is pretty nice. As long as they continue to win their games, we'll have an advantage over other teams that way. As well as our schedule does feel like it gets easier throughout the season, so it should be better.
You have Chikabai in your schedule, are you sure?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hopefully I can rig against Wyatt week 7. That'll be fun. But we'll see.
Not for you.
Not for me? Who's to say?
We'll see.
Alright. We were ranked joint last going into this series. Yes, we were. And one of us stayed there. Alright. That's going to be it for the stream. Kind of done watching my team lose. So, going into next week, what are some, preview matches that we can look at?
Chikabai's against Spikers. We are tied right now, so that's another tie matchup. Someone's gonna on top unless we just tie each other.
The full matchups are not out yet, of course, but yeah. Slay the Spiker versus Triggervi could be a big series to decide who makes playoffs. Dodgers versus Scovillains, we definitely need to get our name on the board with a win. Versus Dodgers, may as well, right? Guardians versus the Big Dogs, I think both these teams have been playing quite well overall. As well as Judgment Day and Huge Power, both coming off of big wins. Be interested to see them clash with their momentum. Yeah. I think this will be a big series, especially for Judgment Day, because they did start off a little bit slow.
This week in general, this week should be really telling for playoffs, whether Scovillains can pull out a win and which team wins between Spiker and Chikavai. It's gonna two teams could be almost out of playoffs this week if they lose. But, yeah.
Could be rough, but we'll do our best. Right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, Wyatt. And I'll see you guys next week for week 4. Is there any major transactions we want to cover actually real quick before we go?
So Huge Power dropped. Okay, so we can just go left to right. Big Dogs didn't change anything. Huge Power dropped Count Riario, who was undefeated. And in exchange they picked up the Soviet Onion. They also dropped Passion Fruit, the mistake pickup, and got Dawson plus Volt Ninja.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about the other two they picked up, but I know Volt Ninja is really active and a great player, so that should
Wait,
help
they have the Volt
bolster their
Ninja Volti Pichu Volt Core?
Oh, and
Who
we
is
just
in
got
my
a
chat?
suspicious message from
Who is in my chat?
MSMO. Yeah. It might be like K-Crick or something. I'm not sure who that is.
What if I just ban that guy? Thoughts?
Probably, yeah. I think let's get that message out of there. The
Well?
the Volti core is pretty
Why-
powerful.
Wait, why did you say that's cake, Rick? That's messed up. Yeah. The Volti core, though, is very
Did I
funny.
say that? Oh.
You did say that. That's okay, though. Slay the Spiker, did they change anything? I don't think so. This looks the same. Judgment Day got
They did not.
no changes, right?
No changes. Chikabai, no changes.
Scavillains, we picked up Genesect and Violet
You picked
River.
up your savior, Genesect. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately we had to drop Paddox. He just didn't have the free time he thought he was going to have going into the season. You saw, like, in week 2 and 3, we actually ended up having to sub him out. So if we're paying that much money for someone that is not able to play, I mean, he said you may as well drop me, so we obliged. And we got
Makes
Thanos
sense.
and Thanos. So it's going to be hopefully an upgrade. Draft Dodgers made a few changes, right?
These
They
guys
picked
made
up
some
regular
changes, but it's
Corneus.
hard to decipher them with all these players.
Corneus was
I
an
know they dropped
addition.
Violet. Yeah, so they dropped Violet and Onion, and then they got Riario, Regulus, and I think one more. maybe
Benja.
J-Caps? Oh yeah, Benja Boy and J-Caps.
Benja Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
So 4
Oof,
pickups,
we-
really still the biggest roster in the tour.
By far.
Yep.
Could we see like a potential Genesect versus Benja Boy matchup next week? That would
We
be
could. There's nothing stopping
one
it.
for the ages.
That'd be one for the record books, I think.
Yep. Otherwise, Nature's Guardians, I think they just did like a 1-for-1. They dropped Nazar Mat for VM Noons. There we go.
Yeah, totally reasonable. All right. That's your update. Let's end the stream. Bye-bye.